This is how they start.
Nice. Thank you.
'Cause it's a club. It's a Saturday Afternoon Movie Club. I'm your host, Geoff from Instagram, and I'm here with the huge Randall. What's up?
Howdy.
Bjorn, you doing okay?
I'm doing okay. Howdy threw me off, and I love it.
Right,
Howdy.
Randy says howdy. Randall says hello.
You're not wrong.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
You can.
That's why I talk first. We have a guest. Very excited
Hi.
to welcome Arlo Weierhauser.
Hi.
How you doing, Arlo?
I'm good. I like when everyone claps
Yeah.
for me.
All right.
That makes it worth it.
Right. Most of us have done stand up enough to know that asking for it is the way to go.
Absolutely.
And it's also most of your pay.
Right?
Speaking of.
Oh
Interesting.
yeah. Speaking of, did you get the email? It's $150 production cost to be on the show.
Yeah.
And then
Right. We're
Per-
giving you
per
access
host.
to our platform.
talent appearance.
Yeah.
No, we don't pay
At
that.
least 200.
Well, you owe us $450.
No, we
Yes.
can always do an advance, and then you just
$4.
pay it back
Good.
with residuals.
I think people
over time.
historically have fallen for that.
Yeah, definitely.
But we get 50% of your Sirius radio.
That's what a fucking landlord would say.
No, we got
Changed me.
we got these contracts from Comedy Dynamics.
That's why it's familiar.
Right. That's a little inside baseball, but
Here's
inside baseball is
$500.
most of our listeners, I would imagine.
Yep.
So
You have a baseball hat on. It works.
yeah. All right, so today we're doing Con Air, but before we get to it, anybody see anything else between now and then?
Yeah.
Between then and now, between The Rock and today, that wasn't Con Air.
Couple things.
What'd you see, Randall?
Took John next door and we watched Matt Reeves' The Batman.
Oh,
Who the
Is that
hell
the new one?
Matt
Yeah,
Reeves?
the Robert Pattinson one.
Oh.
It's my
Is-
favorite one.
Well, then who's Matt Reeves?
the director?
Oh.
But nobody's ever
Yeah.
said that
Yeah.
about this movie.
Oh,
This is a real
the director.
Right, this is a real come up for Matt Reeves.
Is this the second Robert Pattinson, or is this
No,
the one?
that's the
They only
there is
they give
going
him
to
one.
be two.
Oh my god!
It's very good. It's 3 hours.
I've learned not to trust your movie recommendations
Well,
on their face.
It's pretty good.
You think a lot. There we go.
name
Nuance.
one.
It's got some cool shit. I'm gonna say Matt Reeves the Batman. If I had to name one that you really
right
sold.
off the top of our head.
Right,
God
it,
damn it,
it has
Jeff.
nothing to do with my terrible memory. It's not because you just said it and it's the only one I can remember you recommending. I stand by my statement. Matt Reeves the Batman. You whiffed.
Whipped it.
It was a deep foul. Like it looked like a home run, but it curved foul.
You get that eye line, or
Yeah.
baseline.
Missed the foul pole by like a foot.
I would say it's the best version of a Batman movie that isn't fun.
Yeah.
Hey.
That wasn't that where they didn't try to make a
Then
fun
what's
Batman.
the point?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like.
Yeah.
I can see where he's correct. Where I mean, you're right. It is probably it's a good movie, but it's
Ugh,
not what I want
that's
out
not-
of a Batman movie.
Absolutely
at all.
not.
I want it to be fun, like fun and weird, like the Tim Burton, or fun and stupid, like the
Ben
next
Joel
Affleck.
two.
Schumacher. Yeah.
And then the ones with Ben Affleck and that stuff, I just don't even.
They're just absurd.
I made
care.
those fun
Oh, okay.
because every time he would have a
Make them
line,
fun.
I would say
no
if
one
you,
liked that.
if you do watch it at
I'm not.
night because
Okay.
it's very
Ooh.
dark.
It is very dark.
But watch it in the winter so you don't fall asleep. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
it's not still light out.
There's no way I'm watching that.
I know.
Watch it in the winter because you could start it at 4:30.
Yeah, you can start it.
That's it.
And then if you could stay
can
awake till
matinee at home.
7:30, you'll see the whole thing.
It's still
The Riddler's good.
Rescue your
Riddler's a
night.
good villain. It's good. I don't know why we're just giving you some shit for some reason.
What about you? Did you see anything?
I saw Josie and the Pussycats.
that's
With
Fucking
me.
John showed that to me also between screenings.
Why are you
Wow.
so mad?
I'm not mad. I'm shocked that we all watched Josie and
Yeah,
the Pussycats.
I was
the
like,
last week.
Jeff, we're gonna watch this movie. I love it. It's so stupid.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's great, and it holds up.
Yeah, 100%.
Parker Posey, amazing.
I said yes right away, and they got my iPad so I could do crosswords, and I just didn't want to be rude. But the movie is very good.
Yeah.
is so much better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, same.
And it's like a million times better than what I thought it was when it came out. Like when I was 22 or whatever.
How
there
it was
just
promoted
no
or
chance.
pitched. Yeah.
It's
was marketed.
shockingly like very anti-capitalist
Yeah.
for for a kids movie.
Teen. Yeah, kind of
It's
kids.
it's pretty
Yeah.
kid leaning.
Well, they made sure that the next one, the
don't remember.
Scooby Doo, was PG, like a hard PG,
Oh, okay.
because this one flopped so bad.
Oh, okay.
Because parents were, it was like everyone was angry. It's like the people who it was for didn't see it, and that would be the bet, like us or whatever.
Sure.
And then the people that it was for, kids, parents were pissed because they're like, it's
Not for kids.
it's not for kids. Literally, the first song is a butt stuff joke.
That's true. That's very true.
Like we're 10
Quality
seconds
stuff.
in, and they're just like something about my back door.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
back door, babe. You're my back
You're my
door,
back door.
baby.
yeah, I remember hearing that being
That's
like,
funny on
is this
two levels.
Yeah.
kids movie talking about John went anal sex? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a big poop.
Right?
Or the back of the house. Who knows?
birth
You know?
To a big
Is that what you say when you
backdoor
go
baby.
poop?
I have to
Shannon,
go.
wanna make a backdoor baby.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
I did forget that Josie and the Pussycat lives in the Scooby Doo like world.
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. They do.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's great. It's
Is
great.
Speed Racer in that? I keep bringing up Speed Racer.
I don't
It's
know.
another one of those. You, don't watch it.
I don't know. We'll never know.
I'm not gonna.
It's so CGI. It's great. I love it, but whatever.
Was I supposed to watch this movie?
You're not supposed to watch any of it.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we're
I did
we're
get concerned.
we're like
Watch-
cold pitching you on everything.
Yeah,
Cool.
You're supposed to watch whatever, like ER clone that you're on right now.
Yeah.
That
What
was
have you
what
been
you're
watching?
supposed to watch.
I just finished Nathan Fielder's the practicing.
The rehearsal.
Yeah.
Oh.
And him trying very hard to beat those autism allegations. And then he finally lands the plane and he's like the least experienced commercial pilot of all time to be issued that license, but also took the longest to be issued his private pilot license is a fun juxtaposition. And then he goes to the Center for Autism and she starts using generalized language about people with autism have trouble with this. And
Right.
he starts being very strict on, yeah, I imagine they do. And like, he's like trying to make it clear. And she's like, yeah, no, it could be true for anyone. Like, honey.
And then he gets on the fucking board.
Yeah.
It's like I love that show so
Good.
much.
They're doing good stuff.
Yeah.
You watched it?
No.
I haven't either.
It's excellent.
Speaking of
funny.
the autism community.
It's very funny.
Usually Nathan Fielder stuff makes me too uncomfortable.
Oh, that's you don't like.
I don't like
This
being
one-
uncomfortable. Like,
There's only a couple really
okay.
insane.
The rehearsal is a lot. It's much more straightforward than like Nathan for You.
Okay.
But it's still Nathan Fielder making
And
a thing.
not
so-
as dark as the last season of the rehearsal where they
Right.
fucked with that kid a bunch.
Right.
That might have got offhand. Yeah. That was good though.
Mhm.
I recommend it.
Whoa. I don't know what it's about.
You should check it out.
I'll check it out.
It's about practicing.
Okay.
I like to practice
Practice
stuff.
is the worst part of anything.
Aw.
I just want to do it.
I just want to
I'm
be
that
good.
I've done all my practicing. I'm good at the stuff I'm good at now. I'm done practicing. I'm old. I won't say how old, but old enough to be done practicing.
Enough that I'm proud of you. That I said outside, hey, you're doing better than I thought.
Yeah. Right? Arlo
think
just found out I'm older.
I thought we were the
than
same
expected?
age. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought you
So,
were doing terrible, but look at him.
So in the last 15 minutes, I jumped from looking like shit to looking like
Look at him.
I should.
Yeah.
Be like, oh,
Better than
Oh,
expected.
that makes sense. Right? I don't know. Like,
Well done, bud.
right? I guess you thought I was like 36 or whatever. And this is a rough 36, but it's a totally fine what I am.
Rocker
It's
36.
a totally fine 39.
Stick with it.
You know, I'm 36.
Yeah.
So that was
Doing medium. Did you want attention for that?
no. When he said you thought he was
Yeah.
36, it's like, oh,
No, we were the same way.
yeah,
He's doing good.
Yeah,
What
but
have
your
you
beard's
watched?
Still, you're not all great.
I'm not.
No, he dyes it.
Right, I dye mine gray.
Yeah. Both, everyone in this room.
You're like, I see touch of gray. Do you have all the gray?
I need a bunch of
Gray
touches.
only?
Silver Sharpies.
Yeah.
That's an old school.
Right, if I move my face too fast, you'll see that a lot of this is from powdered donuts. It just starts falling off.
And then there's just a mess.
Yeah, but I don't do the cleaning here.
What have you watched? I'm in charge now.
Batman.
Oh, yeah,
Batman.
just the Batman. I got bored of that.
Mine was
Blinked it
Josie and the
out.
Pussycats.
And Josie and the
Right,
Pussycats. I think,
Josie the Pussycats.
What'd you watch?
I saw an episode of speaking of airplanes, because we're about to talk about airplanes, and then they've come up a couple of times already. I watched an episode of the A-Team today where they had to land a plane, but they didn't know how. They got talked it down, and they land, and then they crash into the terminal. And I laughed so goddamn hard because the scene of them crashing into the terminal is just it's the shot from Airplane. They just used that shot.
So funny.
It wasn't the
That's
same
amazing.
shot.
That's incredible.
It wasn't like, oh, let's do what they did at Airplane. They just used the
Took
shot
the
from
shot.
Airplane.
Just footage.
So
Where are
funny.
you streaming episodes of the A-Team?
My own personal iTunes library.
You own.
Yeah.
Okay. You own.
I own the first 2 seasons. They don't have a box set yet.
Yeah, you do.
As far as the box sets go, it's like Quantum Leap, Magna PI. I have all of those. But I was kicking on the A-Team today.
Murder, She Wrote.
No Murder, She Wrote. I
classic.
own the episode of Murder, She Wrote that is a crossover with Magna PI,
That's fun.
right? And I'm desperate to find
Columbo.
Simon and
I know.
Simon streaming. I have all the
Fucking love
Columbos from the
Columbo.
70s.
I love Columbo.
I like to fast forward the crime, and I start watching
Get to
when
the
Columbo
puzzles.
shows
The
up.
puzzles. We were talking about this before we
Yeah.
started recording. It's
Right.
like watching those crime
Where he does
dramas, and you just go through the death part, and you just watch them solve puzzles.
I just want to see. I want to know what Columbo knows.
Yeah.
I don't. They show me the whole thing,
Well, then I know. Yeah.
then I know, and then you're just watching Columbo solve the thing you
Reverse
already know.
engineer. Exactly.
So I just want to watch him do the stuff, and then sometimes it doesn't work because they didn't do enough Columbo stuff. They just go, oh, they saw it at the beginning what happened, and then you get to the end, you're like, what the
Inferential.
fuck?
Wait,
Why-
what?
What even turned him on to that guy or whatever? But most of the time,
Crazy
it
approach.
still works. But
Keeps it fresh.
it's definitely like I really believe that the Columbo stuff is because of the time slot I had to fill, because it was like always like the Tuesday night movie or the Saturday night movie or whatever, so it would have to fill 2 hours. And if it was an actual
That's so
show,
long. Yeah.
it would have just been the Columbo stuff.
Yeah.
But,
they had to
make
do a
it
whole
long.
vignette.
I know, and it's like 25 minutes every episode
That is a lot.
of the murder.
Yeah.
Like, I've never cared why they do it. It's a TV show. It didn't even really happen.
Yeah.
I just want to watch them
I
solve
like
it.
the puzzles.
Right, I do, but I do have a real affinity for the 80s shows, like how they stopped. There was a shift in the 90s. I think my friend Dave Waite pointed this out to me, but after the OJ verdict, that was when like CSI started coming out, and they started like it was all like a psyop, like the government told Hollywood we need to make sure people know that DNA is ironclad.
Yeah. It's not just.
So now all the cop shows and stuff have like consultants, and they all strive for some level of accuracy or whatever.
And professionalism.
Right, and it's stupid. I don't like that. I like the shows from the 80s where it doesn't matter.
It's based
and
on a hunch.
writers.
And they get away with like anything just based on a
right, none of it.
feeling. Yeah.
There's no way. Right, Magna PI, like that show was on for 8 years, and it's super cool. Then the remake, I tried to watch the remake, and the remake they're trying to make a cool show, so it's not going to work.
So, yeah. Never worked.
The original is ridiculous. The other 3 guys on the show that aren't Tom Selleck are not good at acting.
Or their jobs.
And the fact that they're just as bad in season 1 as they are in season 8 makes me think it's a choice. Like they know they're making a ridiculous show. They're not trying to make a good show. They know that this show is kind of stupid and fun, and so that's what they make, and that's why the show works. Same with Quantum. Like the fact that there's 4 shows on TV now with 911 in the title and no shows with a talking car is stupid.
It's a travesty.
Why am I watching a fake version of the news when you could do you're a TV. It's all
Why are they all in Chicago too?
it's made up.
They're all in fucking Chicago.
Use your
I'll tell you why,
imagination.
actually. I will tell you. Nobody wants to hear this part of it, but I know the reason. It is cop propaganda. It's propaganda. And Chicago is regarded as this crime-ridden city.
Right.
This is all, like, it's very Republican to watch those shows. Don't be a fucking dipshit far right.
But it's
That's
very-
one watch
it's-
those shows.
It's like to
Ache.
believe
Yeah, the
them
Portland version would be pretty boring.
is something.
I've never even seen someone pulled over in the last 5 years.
I've seen a cop speed by someone speeding.
Yeah, I've seen the
Yeah,
lights
And
yeah,
everybody slowed down. And we're like, see ya, nerd. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, quit fucking up traffic.
Yeah, they did do that. Like, but Hollywood has always been making cops look good. Like Dirty
Absolutely.
Harry,
Yeah.
is
And military.
he's just a fascist. Like but it's a movie, so some people could watch it and know it's a movie, and some people
Are like, yeah, that's
are like, yeah, that's what cops do. And my fear, and what I think has been borne out over time, is that the people that watch it and believe it are the ones who become cops.
absolutely.
Sure.
That's the fast track. Dirty Harry affinity.
Which is any-
like in Magnum TPI. I
I wonder if
much.
cops off duty watch those shows. They're
I-
like,
and jerk
stuff.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think
Like,
so.
yeah.
That's
It's like,
what-
I had a roommate at one point, and it baffled me. He had an office job, and this was when The Office was on TV, but he had all the DVDs, and he would just binge watch The Office
Yeah, it's
after work.
fantasy.
And I was like, "You were just at an office all day. How are you just also?" I just found that fascinating.
They want it to be that funny. They
yeah,
want
right.
to be that
They're
funny.
just trying to
I
watch
guess
a fun version of their own life.
But yeah,
The
they're
baseline is everyone wants to do comedy.
everyone wants to do comedy.
Everybody wants to be funny. That's for sure.
Yeah,
What is
And it is not true. It is. I've met a lot of you.
is Con Air a pro cop film?
No,
kind of pro-military,
it's like kind of,
sort of.
A lot of
in
them are
that the main
pro-military.
character is in the military
Well, shit.
Yeah, but
But
we'll get
only
to that
for,
'cause
like-
it's also not
for like 45 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all before the credits, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's only 3 things really. There's I think 4 things happen in this movie essentially. Like for the breakdown or whatever.
Yeah.
There's just 2 things, and 2 of them happen before the credits,
yeah.
and one of them you just
Amazing.
said. Like as far as the details you need for the thing, he was in the military. That's one of the 4 things you need
That's
to
it.
know.
And,
We've
like,
knocked that out.
Most of the other ones are there are prison guards who are crazy abusive, and they do not hold back at all from making them look like pricks.
This might be a liberal film.
It,
This might be
I will tell you this:
the Hollywood liberal.
there's a moment. I won't go into full detail, but there's a moment in the end with Nic Cage where it happens. I'm like, oh, this is a feminist masterpiece.
Whoa, that's a twist.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I don't
get to
remember
that
this
when we get to
movie.
the parts of the movie when we're talking about our favorite parts. We'll get to that.
Feminism.
Find that out then. Should we just get into Con Air? Then we
Let's
put
go
it
to
in
Con Air.
context. This movie came out June 6, 1997. It debuted at number 1. So here's the movies that were out that week. One of them I've never even heard of. Let's see if you guys can help me out with that. But so Con Air is number 1. Number 2 is The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Hell
Heard of
yeah.
that one.
Addicted to Love.
Heard of that one. Shut up.
Heard of it?
Addicted to Love?
Yeah, Addicted
Is
to
it
Love.
John Cusack?
No, I think Addicted to Love is
Say, ooh, 2 Cusacks.
Matthew Broderick and Meg Ryan.
Is it like a funny romp about rehab?
I don't know.
I like to think so. That's
I don't think so.
that's what I think we were doing for that big summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
They fall out of love with
Let's-
heroin and
Let's
into
make
each other.
Rehab fun. Yeah.
They bond.
The working title
Over their
was
lack of drugs.
Replacement Addiction, but then
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah, then you think this is a sequel to When a Man Loves a Woman?
yes.
There we go. Right.
You read me. You
She
read me.
ditched Andy Garcia, cleaned herself up, met Matthew Broderick, ran someone over. Number 4 was Buddy. That's the one I've never heard of.
Buddy.
Don't know. I'm not even gonna click on it. Don't worry about it. Number 5, Gone
almost free.
Fishing.
Okay.
The
That was
Danny
the
Glover, Joe Pesci comedy.
Yeah. Dad movie. That's perfect. That's a
very
good
much a dad movie.
summer blockbuster kind of rounded out. You need something for all the dads to go watch.
Aside from Con Air.
Aside from Con Air.
Yeah, this was like cool though.
Well, we'll get to it. There's more dad movies on this list too. There was a bunch of dad movies this week. Trial and Error is next. The Michael
Playing
Richards
catch.
movie.
The what?
Trial and Error is next. Michael Richards and Jeff Daniels, I think. Austin
Richards?
Powers is number 7.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's
The Fifth Element.
cool teenagers.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Breakdown. Number 9 is Breakdown. Number 10 is Liar Liar.
Oh my
Okay.
god, one of Jim Carrey's finest works.
Yes.
Right. I'm gonna go through 15 just because 15
cool.
is 15 is a fun one to say.
Okay, good.
Number 11 is Night Falls on Manhattan. Never heard of it. Number 12, Volcano. We've already done it.
Fuck
Total
yeah.
dad movie. Number 13, Absolute Power. This is the daddest movie of all dads.
Is it legal drama?
It's a murder mystery that Clint Eastwood directed that also stars Ed Harris and Gene Hackman.
Oh, yeah.
And it involves the president and some other shit. It's
It's just a
I
dad
like it. It's
circle
fun.
jerk. Yeah.
it's just it's a fun. I like mystery, so it's a fun mystery.
Yeah.
Number 14, Bliss. Never heard of it. Number 15, Return of the Jedi Special Edition.
Wow.
It was probably last week.
Oh.
That was out.
That's when they did the big re-releases.
Yeah, the big re-releases
yeah.
started earlier that year, leading up to Phantom Menace.
Yep.
They shouldn't have reminded us what the first ones were like, but they did a good thing making them
Worse.
a little shittier,
Yeah.
so
A
that
little
we
worse.
Yeah.
we could cruise right into Phantom Menace with
Yeah.
lowered expectations.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Reset those.
Right? Roger Ebert gave this movie 3 stars.
Not nothing.
Not nothing.
Solid.
Right?
Honestly,
Not-
I agree with that.
right? He gave The Rock 3.5. So this tracks. If The Rock is 3.5, then this is 3. Like that makes sense.
Yep.
It is not quite as good as The Rock, I think. Rotten Tomatoes 58, critic 75, audience, and IMDb 6.9.
I'm interested to see how those metrics change over time because there's like initial capture of critics and like criticism and critical acclaim or opposite.
Right.
Right. Criticism, I guess, would be the opposite of critical acclaim. Criticism. But then those things can change radically over time.
Yeah.
Like what considered like dad movies now, like Volcano wasn't originally a dad movie. That was like
Sure.
an action-packed whatever, but like fully is a dad movie.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see. Show me the Excel spreadsheet of how those,
You're like,
those ratings
there's a
have
puzzle
changed
here.
over
There's a
time.
puzzle.
We need to contact all these publications
Yes.
and their writers and be like, okay, now do it again.
Just give me access to your database, Rotten Tomatoes. I want to see how these things have changed over time.
Yeah.
And as more people watch them and what demographics. Okay, listen, if we parse the database down to demographics versus time, I think it'd give us a bigger,
How does this
clearer
movie
picture. Exactly on how this movie does. You get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
I like it.
All right, so I'm going to name some people that are in this movie.
Okay.
We'll start
Is
with
one of them not? Is that the game? No.
No.
Okay.
One of them's not. You got to figure out which
Paul
one is the.
Rubens.
Paul Reiser.
All right, all false.
Oops, all balls.
Oops, all balls.
Oops, all Pauls. Paul Fremont. Wait, what's the guy's
Paul
name?
Giamatti.
I'm trying to think of the guy's name who it doesn't matter. I want to find out. Oh my God. So the guy that wrote this also has writing credits on Gone in 60 Seconds, High Fidelity, Disturbing Behavior, Beautiful Girls, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. That's, I think, was the first.
I mean,
yeah.
he don't miss.
Yeah, he doesn't.
No, I named the ones that he hit.
Okay.
I didn't name them all.
That's
Yeah,
how
this isn't
Cusack
a
ended up in
complete
this one.
list of his credits.
Yeah.
There are some. I mean, he wrote Kangaroo Jack too. There are some.
Again,
misses.
he don't miss.
You know,
I don't know.
I don't-
It's- I can tell from the title. It's
Oh.
not critically acclaimed.
No, it's not. It's not good. I watched it.
I saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
is that one where the CGI really doesn't hold up
Yeah, it didn't hold up at the time.
at the time?
Yeah.
Where you're like,
it was
"That's
awful at
clearly-"
the time. Yeah. It's
I
a
do
big-
remember in the 90s just being like, this CGI is terrible.
Of
I'm
the
a
kangaroo?
child and I
Well,
can. Is
Kangaroo Jack, this was a late. Kangaroo Jack was like 2008.
that Anthony something?
Anthony Robinson
Yeah.
and that one guy,
Jerry O'Connell and
Yes.
Anthony Anderson
Anthony Anderson,
and a kangaroo.
Before he lost weight.
That's
And
not
it-
real.
and a CGI kangaroo that looks.
Those
Fucking
movies always
terrible.
feel like penance. Like someone is serving a sentence by having to do this movie.
Right.
Like we have to figure out who is being punished.
Yeah, there's
in
almost
this
always
movie.
a trade somewhere if you dig
Yeah.
into it. There's like some movie that Jerry O'Connell wanted to get made or whatever, and then they're like, we'll make
guess.
that if you do
make
this.
Yeah.
If
Or
you don't
they
make
had
another
a kid,
one.
and they were like, all the movies I've done are rated R. I need a kids movie.
Yeah.
And then you get Ice Cube in Are We There Yet?
Or like Paul Verhoeven doing Showgirls. Not a kids movie, but very different from Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
I love
True.
girls.
Right. Paul Verhoeven, he had a stripper, so he made a movie that she could like, and then she left him, and he ended up with
There's a cult
a
classic.
space fascist.
Yeah.
It was like, I guess I got to make a
Fucking
movie.
here we go.
And then he dealt with
My
a
kids keep taking
RoboCop.
weird turns.
That tracks.
My youngest just killed her psychologist boyfriend with an ice pick.
Here we go again. Back to the
I'm
writer's
just
room.
trying to relate to my kids. I just have the weirdest kids. One of them got 3 tits. One of them's a robot cop.
I was like, goddamn dancer.
Simon West is the director, and this is the most Michael Bay-est movie that wasn't Michael Bay of all Michael Bay's. It's still like, I know he didn't direct it, and I still think he did sometimes.
Yeah.
There's not enough slow motion for him to have directed it.
For this time in Michael Bay's career, I would say that this would be fitting.
It just didn't have the specific shot, the upshot turning
Slow motion.
That it didn't have. Yeah, the parallax slow motion shot, the sunset silhouettes,
Mm.
the
I
wide
love that
sunset
one.
silhouettes.
Bad Boys does that really well.
Yeah,
Bad
they
Boys
sure
is
do.
addicted
So
to
does The
that.
Rock.
Yeah.
And to your point, slow motion.
Yeah, the like slow motion, like get up, pan up.
Yeah.
Did that same director direct this whole like rash of Nic Cage movies?
No, the
No.
first one, The Rock,
Okay.
is Michael Bay.
It
This
is.
is Simon West. Face Off.
Face Off is John
Face
Woo.
Off is John
That
Woo.
does feel like a
John Woo and Michael Bay
Outsider.
are John Woo is just a better Michael Bay
With doves.
with doves.
He's Michael
Oh,
Bay
yeah.
with doves.
Yeah, lots of doves in a
It's
John
like
Woo
slow
movie.
motion and like, where did they get a dove?
Yeah.
What are you, a magician?
Who directed the Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Oh God.
Baz Luhrmann.
'Cause
I hate him so much.
But
Baz Luhrmann.
there's a lot of doves. There's a lot of dove work.
Yeah,
A lot of dove work.
that's where most of
Good dove work though. I mean, I'm not mad.
that's where
Dated
most of his
Good dove
budget
work.
and like attention goes is the doves.
Yeah, it's expensive to have animals on set.
Right. Michael Bay was probably just ripping off John Woo
Yeah,
the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
and maybe this
see
guy.
It's like no one will notice if we remove the doves.
Right. You don't need the doves. It's
How do you shoehorn the doves into Con Air? They were also criminals.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, there are
It's an old
actually
ass
are
plane.
places where there would be birds at least.
Yeah.
They were
In the
in
desert?
denim suits off screen.
Yeah.
There's not
Flew into
3
the
dozen
engines.
of them in the basement of a castle for
Just
some reason, like in Mission Impossible 2. That shit wasn't even outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
How the fuck are there so many birds in
Their
the
roof-
basement?
Where do you think they sleep? I don't know where they sleep. I don't think they sleep down. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
They're
I
not
think
going to
they
be in
sleep
a bunker.
Yeah.
They're like in a bunker.
They're not going to be in a bunker.
historically in
Arlo.
like the crevices of building. You know what I mean? Like up at the top. They don't
Yeah.
sleep down. They sleep up. Listen.
Right?
Bridges.
There's not a big
Eaves.
neon sign that say
Eaves.
castle, and then they'd sleep, but they build their nest behind it.
And a neon
They're in the
blinking
basement,
sign
in the-
down.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Old barns, maybe.
Sure, yeah.
The
Eaves?
Eaves.
Nests? I'm going to go with nests. It's my understanding birds make nests.
And how does he get into the rafters? We're doing Mission Impossible
Yeah,
2
let's-
again.
we're switching
How
back
does
over.
he get into the rafters with the birds so that when he moves slightly, the birds scatter? They didn't scatter when he jumped up there? Okay. I'm
Addicts.
Addicts.
Maybe that's what that movie's about. Addicts. Addicted to love.
It's
Yeah.
It's
Having to
addicts.
love.
It's about
Wait, what was
addicts.
it?
It's about addicts.
It's the porn story.
Yeah.
Right? Top floor. I'm your top,
Top
floor
floor
lover. What was the Jersey song?
It said porn by accident.
Backdoor lover.
Right? This is just top floor lovers. It's a whole collection of songs. That group, O-Town or whatever their name was. Du jour was what they were
Du jour.
called.
Oh, town.
Which is the day, right?
Yeah.
Love that
think so.
O-Town
Like,
just caught
of the
astray. That was a
Yeah, it's a
genuine
joke in
band.
itself. That band name is a funny joke
Yeah.
already.
Du jour.
Du jour.
I did watch this movie. I feel like very soon after it came out. I feel like me and my little sister got a bunch of DVDs for deep discount for when one of the Hollywood Video or Blockbusters was going out of sale.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
and it feels like this was like, this is a pretty new movie and it's on sale for like a nickel or something.
It's when they would have, I think it's when they would have like, when the movie came out, they'd
multi-packs.
get like 20 of them. And then as it got older, they would start selling them off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I got
I know
a lot
we
of
didn't
mine.
see it in the theater. I know we saw it on DVD, and I know I saw it with my sister, but I don't remember anything about this movie except for there being like cages on a plane, like a very greasy. It's not Nic Cage. There's another boy in it.
Several.
Yeah,
Right,
A lot
I haven't got
of
to
real
the-
dude heavy.
It's a very dude-heavy cast. There is one lady,
I don't remember anything else.
and the greasy dude, based on just his entire character, is probably Danny Trejo.
There are 3 ladies.
oh, I would have recognized Danny Trejo. there a
One
bald
like
one?
Right.
main and consistent.
One main consistent lady from.
How I Met Your Mother.
Well,
No, I can't. Now I can't remember.
Well,
Oh,
there's-
Total Recall. That's what it is. I get
the guard was
her
from Total
and
Recall.
Maria Conchita Alonso confused because Maria Conchita Alonso is in Running Man.
Okay,
And who's this lady's name? Who's in it?
Rachel Takatin.
she's the guard, right?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
the guard. She's also in Falling Down. She's in Man on Fire.
Oh, Falling Down.
She's in
That's great.
Lost.
Right, she's great.
Who's she in Lost?
I don't know. John told me.
Oh, okay.
We watched it
Just-
last night, and there are 3 people in this movie from Lost.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, we really dodged a bullet. What if JJ directed this?
Hey,
buddy.
buddy.
Ooh, buddy, get ready for Greg Grunberg to be the pilot.
Yeah, right?
So this movie starred Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, and John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Right, this is an outlier for Cusack. He didn't make a lot of movies like this.
He's not known for his butch roles. You know what I
No.
mean? This
And,
feels-
but this one is not gonna. This is not a butch role at all.
It's not.
That's why they had to call him up.
He
It's a very flamboyant serial killer.
at the time I saw this movie. This is the movie I've seen the most in the theater. I probably saw this movie at least 6 times.
Bro, why?
Because it was a confluence of the situation. There was a movie theater across the street from Kings Island when I worked at Kings Island, and I lived a half hour away. So there were times when I would have a long break or have to go back later to do something. So instead of going home, I would just go to the movie theater.
And you'd already been out of high school, what, 10 years by then?
No, no, just one. I was 1 full year out, and I saw a lot of movies in the theater.
Yeah.
But there were times there were times when this would be I'd rather watch this a 3rd time than that a 2nd or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I just kept watching this. I really
That's
liked John
crazy.
Cusack. He was in a lot of there's a lot of like interviews with Cusack around that time because of like Grosse Point Blank had just come out. Also, like it was out the same year. I probably saw that one 5 times. It just didn't stay in the theater as long. So Con Air, I had a full like 4 or 5 months to kill time watching it.
I forgot that like John Cusack had an action career because I think of him from High Fidelity on to like nuanced, annoyed New Yorker,
Sure.
That. How do you feel about High Fidelity?
I love High Fidelity.
I do too.
I also love Grosse Point Blank, but he did Con Air he needed more money to finish Grosse Point Blank. So that's why he agreed to it. Like that was the only reason he did it. Grosse Point Blank is pretty close to like that's an action movie that he would be in. Obviously, I mean he wrote it and whatever, but
What's the premise of that one?
high school reunion, hitman.
Cool.
He's the hitman?
He's a hitman and he goes back to his high school reunion. That's enough. I don't need to tell you anymore.
Cool.
You just watch it someday. It's fun.
I mean, he's no Keanu. But...
No. At the time though, he probably was. It was he was around that
Radical time.
era. Colmeany's in it. Michael T. Williamson. Nick Chinland. He played Billy Bedlam in this movie, but
That's a sick ass name.
Yeah.
it's a good name, right?
Also, there's no way you're not going to a life of crime. Your name Billy
Billy
Bedlam. That's
So many. It's so good.
Sounds like a 30s gangster.
absolutely
Yeah.
Bedlam.
Oh, there's a guy from The Rock in it.
Yep.
Brandon Kelly.
I think
yeah.
he does comedy, doesn't he? We know him.
Nah. Ving Rhames, Dave Chappelle,
Oh,
Steve
Ving
Buscemi,
Rhames.
Danny Trejo, MC Gainey.
Ooh,
That's enough. No, that's basically
that's a lot of
all the
guys.
people. Yeah, so that's who's in this movie. That's where this movie came when it came out, summer '97. Big deal. Shockingly, I mean, we'll talk about this next week in depth, but Face Off came out like a couple weeks after this one,
Summer of Cage.
right?
Yeah.
That's wild.
And the fact that they were both like real successes is a testament to the movies themselves.
I wonder what
Like,
the shooting schedule was like.
no idea.
Who did what for? Ooh, that's fun.
Right? Which one rapped first?
Yeah.
Feels like
I feel like Con Air would have because there are like 4 locations in the movie,
yeah.
I don't
at
know.
That's
least
true.
for him. It's
That makes sense.
yeah, the airfield, the plane, Vegas,
Right.
and
Prison.
that bar.
Prison bar.
They start in the prison.
It's starting a bar.
Starting a
They
bar.
start in a bar.
They
Go to
start
prison.
in Iraq.
He comes back.
We're gonna
from
keep
Iraq.
jumping around a little bit.
I'm getting it reverse narrative. Got it. I watched Lost. I can piece it together.
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh, you're used to disjointed storytelling. Good.
Right.
I want to see someone recut this one like in a different order.
Con Air.
Yeah.
It's like build a mystery.
Yeah, make it
Yeah,
really
yeah,
mystery.
Yeah, move it around like
Yeah.
like if Tarantino made it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck with the timeline so you don't know for sure what's happening.
right.
Right.
Exactly.
It's
You
definitely
gotta go. You gotta watch it one time and be like, so he's wearing this shirt.
Listen.
He's
But
wearing
then
that
he's
shirt
facing
then,
this
and then
way.
now he's- all right, so
the wife beater's dirty now,
Yeah.
so
You know time has passed.
time has passed. It's not as crisp as it was in the desert.
all right, so we're about to do the recap. I have one piece of trivia that I know personally that's not in the IMDb trivia, but
Oh,
and it's
shit.
about Monica Potter, the lady that played Nicolas Cage's wife.
Yeah.
The song "Mrs. Potter's Lullaby" on the Counting Crows' third album was written for her. Adam Duritz and Monica Potter dated, and when she would be at the studio between whatever they were recording, he would play this song on the piano just to make her laugh.
How's it go?
I can't sing it, but it's long and
It
it's.
seems like you
fucking-
could.
I like it. It's
If I
not-
knew it, I would try.
Monica
No, I never said
Potter.
In my
You
head,
remind me of Julia Roberts, but you're not her.
in my head, it's a Beatles song. It's a Beatles-esque.
Right.
Mrs. Potter's
Monica
Lullaby.
Potter.
She was not on the plane.
She was in Con Air.
Did
She
the album-
started off pregnant.
What?
But she wasn't showing, so the age of her kid is kind of unknown.
Yeah.
Is there a Connor baby?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the limited window to make that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did Con Air come out before or after this album?
That album.
Before this album came out in '99. The first line of this song is, "Well, I woke up in mid-afternoon because that's when it all hurts the most." Adam Duritz, man,
Chris Christopherson
He
wrote that
is
song.
a-
Sunday morning coming down.
right? But Adam Duritz, he really has some pathos. It's a long It's a long song.
I'm going to pretend like I know what pathos means.
He's just sad all the time.
Psyche.
Okay.
Old term for emo.
Yeah.
Old timey term.
But she has blonde hair. What?
What happened in this movie, you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's get to
Con
it.
Air.
You guys
Yeah,
want
let's
to
do
recap?
the
it?
recap.
All right, let's do a
I
little
think I went
recap.
direct this episode.
Un momento. Okay. So, first act. Cameron Poe, played by Nick. I'm going to look directly at you this whole
Good, thank you.
time. Cameron Poe, played by Nic Cage, accidentally kills a man while defending he and his pregnant wife at a bar.
Johnny Cash song.
Yes. As a result, he gets locked up for 7 to 10 years. On his daughter's birthday, 8 years later, he is released on parole. He and a few other prisoners board a transport flight to Carson City. On the way, we see a few of the convicts, played by John Malkovich, Ving Rhames, Danny Trejo, Dave Chappelle, and others.
Dave Chappelle?
Yeah,
Yep.
Dave Chappelle's
We
in
buried
this.
the lead on that one.
He
that's
skipped
it.
right past it, but yeah.
I tune
he's
in and
it.
out. You know that.
They have planned a takeover of the plane, and they succeed.
I like when people achieve their dreams. Good job, guys.
They land in Carson City, pick up psychopath Steve Buscemi and other cast members from Lost, and continue on to what is supposed to be somewhere else, but it turns out to be a tiny little airport in a spot called Lerner, 50 minutes from anything resembling Authority. After crash landing, the cons immediately get to work regrouping and digging the plane loose, while authorities, who have now caught on to what is happening, approach them.
Yeah, because classically they do track airplanes of all sizes and shapes.
Well,
we went fast on this.
yeah.
Okay.
They moved the black box and put it into some other plane.
Yeah.
So when they do go to
fucking
chase
clever.
down the radar plane, it's just like a sightseeing tour.
Yeah.
Over the Grand Canyon.
It's over Monument Valley.
Right. To go back to the beginning, the least believable part of this movie is that Nicolas Cage goes to prison
Yeah.
for any of this. Like,
So he goes to the bar, and there's a bunch of dudes there who want to fuck the bartender, and they're gross. And he walks up and they smooch, and
the guys.
the bartender, bartenders could be women.
Yeah. No, I want the fighting guys in a cage.
and that's where we find out she's pregnant, and also that the main
and she's the bartender.
the main bad
and
dude
she's the
is just
pilot. Sorry.
a taller Kyle Kinane with more chin.
Oh.
And then outside, they ambush Nic Cage, and he fights them off, and then kills
Hero.
Kinane.
Why
One
are
of them
they
has
so
a knife.
angry? That was the part that I missed on this one. On this watch.
Drunk rednecks in bars that are angry, that's easy to believe.
That's their only.
Okay.
It's a
He
real
pulled a
one note
knife.
song.
So Nic Cage hits him in the way where in a movie, if you hit somebody like that, they die.
Yeah.
Hits him.
The bartender saw
Oh,
it. His wife
classic.
saw it. He's a decorated military veteran.
You know he wasn't going to catch
No,
charges
they
on that.
didn't
Then
see
the
it.
lawyer-
She goes to get the bartender and he kills him between that interval.
Oh yeah, you're
so
right.
nobody witnesses it. Sorry.
Still, there's no
Still.
chance.
Yeah.
There isn't.
The
That he's
lawyer
gonna
is like,
catch charges
take
on
the
this.
plea,
Yeah.
but there's no chance that a military guy in
He
this
could've-
situation goes to prison.
No.
Like the fact, there's no chance that this even
They're
goes
all
to
friends with the
trial.
prosecutor. Yeah.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
And then the fact that the judge like drops the hammer on him. He's like, you could probably get 4, be out in 2. That's what the lawyer says. And the judge is like 7 to 10. It's like,
Because
none
because
of
of your
Dang.
unique skills, you are a danger to society, and if you do come into contact with conflict again, you are more likely to kill than anybody else.
Yeah, but we don't punish that. We
Yeah,
just-
no.
According to this judge, we do.
Liberal film. This is how I know
Right.
this.
Yeah.
It's a science
If
fiction.
he was a
at this
cop.
point.
Pure science fiction.
Right? They could have took the plane to space, and it's
Yeah.
more believable.
Yeah.
Been a cop
That he
that
goes
got
to prison
charges.
for
Hijack
7
it
years.
and go to space.
Right.
I love that.
The Carson City flip. That was when Nic Cage had a chance to get off the plane, but doesn't.
Right.
Why?
Because he
There's
wants.
cops there.
His cellmate is Michael T. Williams. So the premise of the plane is
Bubba
they're
Gump.
taking.
Is that who that is?
Michael T.
Yeah.
Pretty
Williams?
sure, right?
Yeah, it is
Oh,
Because
okay.
mine went to Michael T. Hall, and that's a different boy.
different, right? You can tell by the spelling. This is another part that doesn't make sense. Nicolas Cage is in prison for manslaughter, and he gets put on this plane. This plane is just a ride to Alabama. They're just taking him home, and everybody else on the plane is going to a super duper prison
Max.
Like a Supermax. Yeah.
but it's just everybody on the plane is just like the worst kind of criminal you can
They're all
think of,
psychos.
Like, yeah.
including Nicolas Cage's cellmate, Bubba Gump. Michael T. Babio is his name in the movie. There's no way that a guy that's being transferred to that prison would be cellmates with a guy that's in for 7 years on manslaughter. Like they would be on different blocks.
Did they even say what he did?
No, but whatever he did must have been heinous because they
Hate
said
a
what the
baby.
other people did that are going to that prison, and it's all bad. Multiples, everything.
But like overcrowding of prisons and like sharing prison transport, that's not that unbelievable.
No, the fact that they put Nic Cage on the plane isn't, but the fact that he was cellmates with this guy for 7 years who's done something so bad that's equivalent to what Danny Trejo did or what
Yeah.
Steve
John
Buscemi
Malkovich.
did or what
Yeah.
Ving Rhames' character, Diamond Dog, or what Cyrus the Virus, like
Did
those
they
guys
say
did.
what Dave
I wanna
Chappelle's
know.
character did?
I
Because
wanna
I
know
feel like
names.
he said
He was like an
Well,
arsonist or something.
Yeah.
He like fire. He was a firebug.
Yeah. Which makes sense as to how
Right.
how the whole plane gets taken over.
And that's how they take over the plane.
A
Dave
bomb.
Chappelle,
He swallows a condom
right?
that has like a little
Classic.
plastic cell of gas or lighter fluid or something in it and a match.
Right? He pulls it
That's-
out somehow.
And he
Okay.
coughs it up, and
That's
he's
some
got
MacGyver
got a
shit.
dude sitting next to him, and he goes, "Hey, if we make it through this, just know This wasn't personal. And he squirts him with the
He
lighter
lights
fluid.
a man.
Yeah.
And then
He
lights
lights
him on fire.
And he's shackled.
Okay. Okay.
Right? That's just to bring
First-
the guards
okay.
back and then
Yeah.
overpower the guards.
If you ever tried to regurgitate something you've swallowed by accident, it's only going down. You have to there has to be so much barfing on that plane to get that up. And also, why not just anything else on the plane? Why do you do it to a man?
Because they're all like cuffed together. He couldn't get up and move around.
Oh, okay. I guess
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all
that checks
shackled.
out.
Yeah.
They're not just like,
But you're right. There would have been a lot more vomiting, and then other people vomiting as well.
Yeah.
There would have been a real gross scene that.
Well, I mean, there were only 3 people.
They can't do that. That humanizes. Like, what's your I'm a sympathetic barfer. They're like, wow.
Yeah.
Didn't you think about him like that? Like, I am too. Now,
This
now
guy's
you're
not
now you're empathizing with this serial killer or whatever.
Right.
You're like, oh, we both have weak
I smelled
tum-tums.
it. I smelled it.
Yeah, they would be a lot less badass. If
I
they,
can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
I can't even smell it. Stop it. You're plugging your ears. I don't know how to plug my nose and
can't.
ears at the same time.
Ow, my freaking ears!
shackled.
The plane would still go down, but for a different reason.
Yes, exactly.
And they would just all run out.
They didn't have
Be
to,
like,
they didn't have to light anyone on fire. They just could have had him just start to vomit, and
Yeah.
everyone would copy.
That's my main defense mechanism.
throwing up.
It's like a barf on command. They're not taking me nowhere I don't want to go.
The fun part about all this is the way the authorities catch on, aka John Cusack. They land in Carson City. Dave Chappelle goes to swap the transmitter, and there's a lady there who's assumingly a mechanic and starts flirting with her, misses all of the action, and then he runs after the plane and tries to climb back in through the landing gear as they're taking off.
Shut the fuck up.
And gets crushed to death by the
Oh,
landing
that's
gear.
sick.
So later, when the convicts take over and they go down into the cargo hold to figure out why the landing gear is stuck,
It's
there's
all-
a fake Dave Chappelle just crushed in the landing
Yep.
gear with his eyes closed and mouth wide
Oh, I
open.
thought John Cusack got crushed. Gotcha.
They
You mean-
push his
okay.
corpse out of the plane,
Yeah.
Not before writing a note.
not before writing a note saying the plane's been taken over, and then the
Wait.
John Cusack's character on Dave Chappelle's
Yeah.
shirt.
Okay.
Push him out of the plane. He falls and smashes into a car.
Who's
in an
driving the
intersection.
car?
Scully's dad.
Oh,
X-Files.
okay.
The roundest head.
Yes.
Yeah,
Motherfucker,
It
you've
really
ever
does.
seen Mole
It's all
Pumpkin Head.
circles.
Such a fucking
And then they
circle,
get
yeah.
T-boned, which
And then they get
Jeff
by
brought
like
up
4 cars.
from all
From all
directions.
directions.
So cars were definitely running lights.
Yes.
in that intersection.
They were already
Carson
lights,
City.
and
Come on, have you ever been there?
Full speed.
fucking
No one's-
they
No, it's-
dropped Dave Chappelle's corpse from 35,000 feet, and it
Yo.
stays completely intact.
intact and legible note.
Yes.
Legible note.
Uh-huh.
Well, somehow
Did they
it's
do that in another movie?
write a note. They
Yeah,
mention
and
it
then
in
drop
a movie.
it off
It's definitely cited. The
in
scene
like
is
Air
cited.
Force
in
One or something.
something.
It could be.
This is where that's from. I do remember that there being a note, and I think I thought it was like not
there
Mel
is
Brooks.
something
What's
like
his
that.
name? Mel.
Harrison Ford.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson.
Mel
airplane?
Harrison.
He drops the thing out of an airplane?
Yeah,
I don't
a
know-
man.
I don't know what
They
you're
wrote
talking-
a
I can't
note
wait
on
to
a
find
man.
out.
Mad Max.
Yeah,
I feel like you're right. I
Something.
think it's like Air Force One. They do
Yeah.
drop something from it.
And I think it's
at
a
some
man.
point.
Uncharted.
Uncharted. It's Congo.
Pirates.
Yes.
Yeah,
Flying Pirates of the Caribbean.
sick.
Flying Dutchman was the name of one of the boats, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
There we go.
And
So
John
much.
Cusack is a cop,
Yes.
Right, he's a U.S. Marshal.
He is.
but he
he's
stays
like the only good
on
one too.
for the ride. There is no such
no,
thing.
he's on the ground.
He's on
Okay.
the ground.
He's
In Carson
overseeing the transfer of the prisoners. That's what like
Yeah,
marshals have a lot to do with prison transport.
yeah. Air Marshals classic, right?
They so that's his job. Cole Meany is a DEA agent. There's a drug guy on the plane that they're trying to get information from. So that's why Cole Meany's involved. His attitude is just out of pocket from the jump. Like
Yeah.
none of what he's up to makes a lot of sense. How much he hates John Cusack immediately for no reason.
no reason at all.
And
well,
calls him like a liberal.
Making
a bunch of
judgments. Right, he's probably
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right. That's a good.
At one
He's
point,
like, what
he
is-
says
what
he's
does he
trying
say?
to save the rainforest or whatever. And it's like, this guy has said
Fucking
nothing.
hippie.
He
What
has
kind
said
of
nothing
He's a
Yeah.
U.S. Marshal.
about that. He's just wearing,
He's
like, the shoes he's wearing are, they have it's a closed toe and a closed back, but it's still kind of a sandal, and that's it. That's the only thing he knows
The only
about
thing
him.
that he did
Respectfully.
was when they were planting the DEA agent, he made sure that the agent didn't have a gun so that he couldn't be found
in
out.
case,
Right? No guns on the plane.
No
Yeah,
guns on the
yeah.
plane. He's like, I have a small arsenal that I've already planted down there if we need it, and there's a pistol in the cockpit. Other than that, no guns. And from there, fucking
This is too many boys. In this
super
movie.
Irish guy McGee.
Yeah,
Who?
but if
Who?
there was more women in this movie, it doesn't happen because you have to have these idiots. Like there has to be this
This
macho
play through.
idiocy
It's
is what
so
causes
true.
all of this.
Who plants the arsenal?
The arsenal is just what's in
In
like
the-
a prison thing.
in
a
Like, they always
prison
have
plane.
like the
Flare
locked
gun
up
and
guns or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it's for the guards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, but it's like that's just what happens in like a prison or whatever. They have guns in prison, but locked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't carry them because you could
So when
might be able to take one.
Dave Chappelle lights the other guy on fire,
Yep. That distracts the guards.
and then
Now, meanwhile,
how do they get out of
so
there?
to give you
Yeah.
more, 3 or 4 of them have hidden push pins in their hand.
Yeah.
They've like put it under the first layer of their skin. So they're working on picking it out, and then they pick the locks on their cuffs.
Right, so Ving Rhames gets out.
So then
couple others get out.
they start throwing fits.
It's
So when the
almost
guards
like-
when the guards come and make them stop and open the door to try and beat the shit out of them, they're able to kick it open and then.
It's
fuck with
almost
the
like
guards.
you didn't need to light that man on fire. You just pick your fucking handcuffs. They're going to come back regardless. I mean, that's why there's not more women in this movie.
The lighting them on fire is what gets all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Right, like it's a big enough thing to.
And then they crash in Carson City.
Right, they land. They land as planned in Carson City to
Oh,
pick up more people.
land
It drops
as
the people
planned.
off.
That's
Yes.
it. Okay, got it.
Because they can't. There's the transmitter still on the plane at that point. So if they just divert, then the jig is up.
Yeah. So how does Dave Chappelle get off the plane?
They land in Carson City. They have taken. They've swapped clothes with all the guards. So that
So the takeover's already happened.
the
Got it.
takeover's
Yeah.
already happened when they're in Carson City.
So all the guards are all locked up now.
The
No, they
guards
take-
have been swapped into prison clothes. So there's an exchange happening. Like
Yeah.
some people are getting off, more people are getting on, and they put all the guards in prison clothes and pose them as prisoners.
How do they keep them from yapping?
They tape their
Tape
mouths,
their mouths shut
and
and
then
put hoods over them.
somewhere they get tape. I don't know where the tape comes from.
It's on a
but-
plane.
I bet
Somewhere
there's a
on
lot
the
of
plane.
tape on planes.
And then they cover them, and he what does he say? He's like shitters and spitters. Had to bag and tag them.
Yes, that's exactly what he says.
Classic. It's
Yeah.
good writing right there.
Yeah.
It's like
And, you know-
Dr. Seuss lines right
Yeah.
there.
There's a bunch of those.
Fun.
One fun thing that might show up in one of my questions later is all of these criminals are like very notorious and do fuck all to cover their faces when they actually land in Carson City. Because they have to
Right.
like facilitate this prison transfer.
Yeah.
And one of the most famous criminals in the country, according to this movie, is just talking to all of the guards.
No, it's a
good.
sandstorm.
Yes.
He rolled really high
And
on
not
deception.
by
That's
Darude.
what happened.
Right.
It wasn't Darude playing at the. Okay, only.
I don't know what that is.
It's a dumb techno,
techno
song.
Oh. Oh. I know Sandstorm.
Yeah,
very-
Okay.
sandstorm.
Yeah.
I
That's the
didn't know
one.
the artist of Sandstorm. Sorry.
It's okay.
How does
Whatever
it go?
happened to the pilot that landed in Carson City?
Remind me really quick, how does Sandstorm go?
I don't know.
Da-da-da-da-da.
I can't remember what happened to that pilot. Maybe they sent
Got
him
it.
out. Maybe they killed him.
He doesn't show back up again.
They threw him off.
Yeah, right.
I can't
That's a good
believe they
point.
didn't throw,
They get
throw
close
more.
to Carson City and he's gone.
Why didn't they throw more of the guards just off the plane? Just like
Some of them are
get out
Again,
dead.
jig is up. There has to be an inventory of
Yeah.
prisoners.
Has
Oh,
to
of
match.
people.
They have to match the numbers, and they also have to match race.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
But then a black guy does get off, so it's a whole. It's like whatever.
yeah.
Because that's why Bubba Gump can't get off. It's
Right, because he's not white.
He's not white, and they need a certain number of white. Because
Commentary.
you know, yeah, I know.
It's liberal.
To answer your question from earlier, the
forgot.
reason Nic Cage doesn't get off the plane
Yeah.
is because he's befriended both the lady guard and Bubba Gump.
What a fucking dummy.
And
Well, this goes back to
Danny
his military. He's
Trejo
like an
has his
army
eye on
ranger or
her.
whatever.
Yeah.
So you never leave a man behind.
and
That's
he
that's the thing. That's why he stays.
he
That's
knew
crazy
he knew if he
writing.
left that they would have been killed.
Yeah. I mean, there's a pretty fair chance they're all going to get killed.
And
I
his
mean, they're all
whole-
death row, aren't they?
His whole thing was like, if my daughter ever found out that I did this,
She would be so happy that you lived through it and didn't make some
Mm-hmm.
fucking dumbass choices and defend criminals. I don't know.
One of them wasn't.
Right, the guard was.
The guard is just a guard.
Yeah, but deserves to die. We're not going to finish that sentence in a happy way. Okay. All right.
All right. Next question.
When I say ACAB, I mean ACAB.
Sure. Okay. So second act.
That felt like the whole movie, you guys.
Oh, that's the first like 50 minutes.
Okay. So we're up in the air.
We're up in the we're
The Grand Canyon tour has the black box.
Yes.
They just tape it to the outside of that plane.
They just throw it under the seat.
throw it under a seat inside.
They let them board another plane. Okay,
No,
this is
it's
nuts.
It's a
just
tourist
in a
plane.
hangar,
Yeah. Okay.
and then it takes off conveniently at the same time.
They get back
for
up in
some
the
reason.
air.
Yeah, they get back up in the air. They're heading towards
Lerner.
an airstrip in the middle of absolute fucking nowhere. Authorities get there. There is a huge shootout that happens
Sick.
that results in the plane taking off with a fucking Irish cop's car hooked to it, so it is just
Yep.
flying behind him, a la the Weasley car chasing after the Hogwarts Express.
That's fun.
Right.
It's a Corvette, and it has a vanity plate that says "As Kicker."
Ass kicker.
AZZKIKR. I just
That's
noted
it.
that.
Yeah,
Uh,
as you should have.
great play. You forgot the detail about the drug guy that double crosses them, because the original one was they were going to land in Lerner, and
Right.
they were going to get on the private plane and go to Columbia.
Right, and then
But he
the drug guy.
Like DC? No.
So they were going to leave the plane in Lerner, hop onto a paid, like contracted
yeah.
chartered flight. That guy double crosses the prisoners
Drama.
for no real reason.
Yeah.
They don't have money.
and so they try
Like,
to
there's-
take off.
There's
Then
nothing.
why would he be loyal?
They're supposed to Cyrus the Virus was hired to break this guy
Sick-ass
out by
name.
the head of the cartel or whatever.
What do
It
you
was like
think's-
the son of the guy that ran the cartel.
Yeah.
So he gets hired to do this. This is this breaking out the plane is a job somehow.
Joby job. What did Cyrus the Virus do, you think?
He is
Kill
a
more men
murderer.
than cancer.
Kills more men than cancer.
Yo, that's sick. Everyone's got a fucking... I want movies about all the criminals.
Well, they do
What
this
are the other
great
cool
scene
names?
where they're
Firebug.
describing all of them as they're getting on the plane.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Like the
that.
marshal is
I want to
like
see that montage.
shows them, and that's where that famous meme where Cameron Poe, played by Nic Cage, he gets off the thing and he like sees the
That's
air.
not
and
it. That's not the scene.
That's not.
No, that is when
I thought he was getting on the plane.
he and Ving Rhames are arguing about killing those cops, and John Malkovich is standing on top of the plane.
And then he shakes his head.
He doesn't shake
How
his
did
head.
John
It's
Malkovich
just the
get up there?
angle, and he's smiling at him because he's like pulling one over on him to
That's
manipulate him
another
until he-
one. This is a
That's
different one.
That's this. No, the lighting is the same. The
Okay.
angle's the same. That's where it is. I promise.
All right.
I hate it when you fight.
Anyway,
I don't know the point of
They
this.
take off from Lerner. They're heading to Mexico, but enough damage was done during the shootout that they only have enough fuel
Are
to
they leaking?
basically make it to Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas, baby.
Right, so they have no fuel.
They have
There's
no
no way
fuel.
Vegas is far. This is all.
Yeah, Carson
the
City to
body falls
Vegas
out of
is.
Fresno.
It's
They,
like
they land in Carson City. Carson City to Vegas on a plane is
it's like Eugene to
20
Portland.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they are
so-
like very out of fuel.
right. They have
Um,
just enough to get off the ground and then they
And
just
they're- oh,
glide to
fuck.
Vegas.
Well,
basically.
actually, no, I don't think it was a fuel issue. It was that they were down an engine because of the shootout. So there was just the plane couldn't just get there. Also, Nic Cage said he was going to go refuel the plane and never did.
right.
So that's
That's when he
lends to it
hooked
as well.
up the car.
This is a
That's when he
movie
hooks up the car.
about doing what you say you're going to do, you know?
Yeah.
And
Follow
if-
through.
Follow
you
through.
follow through.
Yeah.
And if that getaway plane had been there to take him to Columbia, you know what I mean? You just follow through.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you say you're going to do.
But that's
Support
the second
prisoners
act.
escaping.
Right.
Is the second act is mostly planning for and then doing this giant shootout in the desert.
Up, skip, up. How many more landings?
One
and
more
taking?
landing.
One more.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
The second act ends in the air.
So they're limping to Vegas with one engine, just flying. I don't know how you fly with one engine.
Not great.
Yeah. Two wings.
So they've kind of like worked out. Nic Cage is now in cahoots with John Cusack's character.
They meet at Lerner Airfield.
They meet at Lerner Airfield.
Cusack is the one who figured out they're going to Lerner, so he shows up before the cavalry.
Is that how he gets on top of the plane?
That's John Malkovich.
Oh,
John Malkovich is supervising the whole thing, so he's just kind of wandering and makes it on top of the plane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, but Cusack and Nic Cage discover the double cross
At the same time.
at the same time, and then that's when they finally meet.
And
And
kiss.
there's
And-
cool.
One of the best lines in the whole movie happens in that scene, which is, there are two men I trust. One is me. The other isn't you.
My dick. Sorry. Who's the other one? Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. I bet it's my
It's like a
dick.
twist. Yeah.
Or Jesus Christ.
Right, but then he leaves that room, and John Cusack goes, "What are you gonna do?" And Nic Cage goes, "What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna save the fucking day." And
Yes.
I'm gonna
that's
do the
very
best I
true.
can.
right. That's pretty dope.
It was just for me and Randall.
Right, so much nonsense in Lerner Field. Somehow, so many guns, so many explosions.
Yeah, these planes really.
Oh, dude, the sayonara
that's
is
dumb
so
shit.
great.
I mean, awesome.
Because he's Cyrus.
One of the dudes.
The virus?
Yes. So the guy who has helped organize this second plane ends up. He is in on the double cross and tries to just take off as fast as he can.
And just to review, the double cross is
That's kind of
who
it.
double crossing
The
who?
double crosses, they don't want to pay these convicts the money that they offered.
So
to
it's
break
not
them
that the
out. So they just broke
convicts-
them out, and then the
When you
drug
said
dealer
there's
guys are
no-
just gonna leave.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So dude who organizes it hops in the plane to try and bail. And Nic Cage is like, haha, no. And then drops a crane arm down that rips the back half of the plane off.
That's sick.
That spins out of control into a gas station.
They pick up that car.
Not yet.
yet.
The gas pumps get knocked off, and there's just fuel fountaining out of the ground. And the guy is addressing Cyrus, and he goes, "But Cy," and then John Malkovich just goes, "Anara," and flicks a lit cigarette at
You're
him.
kidding me.
Pulls it
And
out of another guy's mouth.
Pulls out of another guy's
You know,
mouth.
people talk a lot of shit about like cocaine in the movie industry, but like that, that's fucking award winning. That's
it's
beautiful.
so beautiful.
I will watch more movies. with
There's,
cocaine
I got
people
more. I got more
writing
lines that I wrote.
Oh,
down.
yeah,
That's
he's
incredible.
He's very good at writing down lines.
scripts. How many stars did Siskel give this?
3.
Yeah,
Three.
I mean
Ebert,
that's
though.
Ebert.
Yeah.
Who I don't know the difference. One of them died.
Both of them dead.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't really kept up. That's the last time I checked in. I'm pretty sure.
Did
one
this
of
come out when Siskel was still part of it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the expert.
This shit was the
Defer to Jeff
TV
on
show
that.
was like a local Chicago thing.
Siskel and Ebert?
Yeah, wasn't
They
it?
were like,
I mean, I
they
don't
were
know.
like the national movie reviewers.
But the show.
The show,
itself,
I'm not- yeah, I don't
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, the show.
don't know
Like
if it-
Ebert. I mean, Ebert wrote his reviews for the Chicago Tribune.
Yeah,
Like,
but
it
those
wasn't-
were Those were nationally
or maybe the Sun Times. It might have
circulated.
been picked up.
They were.
Like,
I
but
mean,
that
I
wasn't
know.
what was in my paper.
I remember hearing about Siskel and Ebert when I was a kid. So
yeah, you heard about him.
yeah,
When did The Critic get made?
great question.
90s. 95, 6, 7, something like that.
I wonder what he
Am I
thought
missing
about
anything
this.
really from the second act? Is that all the highlights?
So now they're back in the air, limping to Vegas.
Oh, also Steve Buscemi.
Sayonara.
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. That's when we find out
No
that
commit.
Steve Buscemi has violently murdered 37 people.
Little Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Like in the movie describes that one of the women he killed, he wore her head as a hat as he drove through 3 states.
Gross, you guys. Gross,
Like
you guys.
violent.
There's a line, I don't remember who says it, but he's like, "What's wrong with him?" And then he's like, "My first thought, a lot."
Whoa. Psycho. Consider yourself psycho and analyze.
So while this is all going on, Steve Buscemi wanders into, I guess, a trailer park with a pool that's empty,
Unrelated.
unrelated, wanders into a trailer park, and then there is a probably 5-year-old girl sitting and having pretend tea time with her dolls, and Steve Buscemi walks up and pulls the doll away and sits down
Okay.
and starts interacting with her, and
Yeah.
everybody is like,
He's
Yeah.
gonna,
"Oh
You're like,
no!"
"Oh,
he's gonna
no."
wear that little
And
girl
then
as a cape or something.
After the shootout happens, we see him walk back towards the action, and he has her doll in his hand.
Ew.
And we're like,
You're
"Oh,
like,
fuck!"
"Oh
He did it
no!"
again.
Plane pulls away. The little girl is
Like
waving, by at the
waving,
plane.
and you're like, "Oh, thank God."
So he's reformed now?
That's,
or-
Yep.
I guess, the impression
Prison
we're
works.
supposed to get.
Prison works. Because he just got off the plane and fucked off, and he was like,
yeah, while everyone else was doing their thing.
he did the sayonara line?
No, that was
No,
that was a
it's
different
like-
dude.
That was different.
All right. Is there a hierarchy of like social acceptance amongst the prisoners?
So
Of like
yeah, but not
everyone's
here.
like,
Like, these
yuck,
are the-
that
But it
guy.
seems like it's
Kind
like
of.
Yeah.
Malkovich,
Yes.
then Diamond Dog, and then
Cyrus D. Virus.
and then everyone else is basically henchmen.
yeah.
of like a social acceptance.
Yes, so there's one mention of social acceptance, and it's with Danny Trejo's character. So we find out his name is Johnny 23.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Johnny 23.
Does it change every time he does a?
Yep. R
It
word.
sure
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, an R word?
An R word.
R and R.
And in there he says it would be Johnny 600 if they really knew.
Ew.
Yeah, it's gross.
Johnny Trejo.
And
But-
he gets a tattoo of another rose or something on his arm.
Yeah. He has a rose bush on his arm and adds a rose for every victim. But what
But he doesn't
John-
have 600.
Yeah. So
No.
fucking.
But
So,
what
he's lying.
John
Liar.
Malkovich says is he says, I despise rapists. They are no better than, I think he says, somewhere between scum and that white stuff that accumulates on the side of your mouth when you're thirsty.
That's a real soft take on rapers.
Yes, it is.
I
But
classify.
it's from a bad person.
Yeah.
So the fact that he has any negative thoughts at all is
It's wild.
It's in
impressive,
between.
right?
Sometimes bugs land in your pool, and you know how sometimes the ice tastes funny. Like a drink.
It's gotten a little too old.
Just somewhere in between there.
Somewhere
Yeah.
between there.
Mild annoyance.
But at
Ice
least
made
there's
with
a
a
line.
dirty
This-
Brita.
Cyrus killed more people than cancer, but there's still a line.
They're like, well, that guy's still good.
But he still has a line. He has a credo.
Mind you, Cyrus threatens to kill so many people and doesn't lay a hand on like anybody this whole movie.
Just the guy with the cigarette.
Just the guy with the cigarette, and he just touches his cigarette.
So there's a line in it, and I feel like we need to rewrite it because it bothered me as a kid, and it bothered me again when they're describing someone. They say he makes the Manson family look like the Partridge family.
That's when they're describing Steve Buscemi.
I hate that they use the word family twice. I feel like it needs to just.
The Brady Bunch would have been a better.
Yeah, Brady
Yes.
Bunch. It's a different. I hate
Yeah.
when it's like family. It really
Yeah.
bothers me.
Yeah.
There's not that. Okay, just me. Okay,
No.
cool.
No, I'm with
To
you.
vary
I
your
just have
terms.
nothing to add.
It's law of diminishing return.
Yeah,
You already pitched family. You have to do Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch is better.
Okay,
It's not
so
traditional
third
family,
act.
which would have been more accurate.
They can't make it to the airfield that John Cusack has lined up for them to land in
In
Vegas.
Vegas.
So they decide they're going to land on the Strip,
Sick.
and they land
That's incredible.
on Fremont Street.
Oh, yeah.
Kinda.
That-
Kinda.
before they put the roof on.
They like
No, the roof is on.
no.
Oh.
They really mess up. If you know
That had to have been
Vegas,
early roof.
Oh, I
do
do you know
Vegas.
that tunnel that they go in? That goes to the airport.
Yeah.
Why are they driving down there?
What are they doing?
The
down
end is the airport.
Well, also,
it dead ends in the
there is
airport.
a quarry right outside of that tunnel, which
Where
I
the-
don't think exists on either side.
Yeah, just for that one death that
Yep.
doesn't make any sense.
What death?
John Malkovich's death.
He gets crushed by a rock quarry thing.
How?
It's the third thing that happens
Okay.
as it keeps going because they land on the Strip.
They land on the Strip.
Then
They're
Well, Fremont. Let's be clear.
they end up in Fremont. I think they start on the Strip and then end in Fremont
Yeah, because the plane goes by the strap,
somehow.
and then
Hang a right.
it goes over Circus,
Uh-huh.
and then they're on Fremont Street.
Yeah.
They could have wiped out Circus
They
Circus.
crash into a hotel.
Done humanity a favor.
right. They don't get to downtown until they're on the motorcycles.
Oh.
Like so, it's after like they start pulling people off the crash plane, count them up, realize they're short a couple.
Yeah.
Diamond Dog and Cyrus the Virus and the pilot Swamp Thing escape.
Swamp Thing.
Right.
God, these names are
That's
sick.
Yeah.
Those three guys steal a fire truck.
Yes.
Cusack and Nic Cage see that, so they both jack police motorcycles, start chasing the fire truck, and then they're downtown.
Yes.
Like from the Strip to downtown immediately, then from downtown to the tunnel immediately, then from
Which no one knows how Vegas is
the-
laid out. I mean, I would
outside of
play
the
with
tunnel-
it too.
right. So the fight all happens. They're fighting on the truck and whatever, and then they come out of the tunnel and they're back where casinos are.
Not the airport.
Not the airport.
These are the local ones. These are the ones on the
Yeah,
outskirts
yeah,
on like
yeah.
the west side, Summerlin, and
Yeah.
Malkovich has been
One of the other
during
stations.
the fight.
Yes.
Cusack handcuffs Malkovich to the ladder, extends the ladder.
Yo,
It hits a walkway, like a skywalk.
yeah, they
Yeah.
go under
Between two.
that.
That launches. Malkovich becomes uncuffed, I guess, somehow,
Mhm.
breaks free. That launches him off the street and to the quarry.
Catapult.
But there's
Through
still-
power lines.
and there's not even like a break in the casinos where there would be.
Yeah,
Right.
Where is this?
Like,
He's
you would've
just
just-
in a quarry.
It's like old Looney Tunes where they just use like the repeat background
Yes.
playing
Yeah.
over and
Yes.
over again. It's just you keep seeing the flamingo go by.
Wait.
He's working the flamingo.
But Malkovich drops into the quarry very conveniently into a rock crusher. And
Shut
It's a gravel
up.
factory. They take
It's-
big rocks and make
yeah,
smaller
make
rocks.
little-
Right?
just smash them up.
Kind of
happens
feels like
in
there
the
was a
movies.
scene missing.
That's a Final
Yeah.
Destination ass death.
well, super
Yeah.
is because like he's basically unscathed, even though again he just
He's been
fell.
catapulted.
He got catapulted. He has a hole in his leg from the fight, mind you.
Right, and he got launched roughly
From what?
6 miles,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just right.
like to where a quarry would be from
a
where it
conservative
was.
estimate.
Like it's miles.
There's not a scratch, and again through power lines that spark and explode as he goes through it.
Oh, with
Not
his
a
body? breaks him?
Yes.
Yeah, classically. You can just knife through butter on those.
Yeah.
And just perfectly into
And just perfectly into something that is like cubic,
a wood chipper, but for rocks.
basically.
Yeah. A smasher.
You're painting a good
Just drops the
picture.
thing,
I
they
can
smash
believe
it.
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
like a can smasher.
Yeah. Yeah.
But fortunately the timing and it all works so it just his head, like it didn't like so it hits his chest or whatever. It just smashed
Just his
his head.
stupid melon head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now he's finally dead.
Like
It
a
was just
Gallagher.
one extra thing.
How did John Cusack arrange for them to land in Vegas? I mean, even in the first
cop.
place, he's just like, hey,
He knew what
let
was
us-
happening.
I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't. They didn't really. The decisions are being made by the plane at this point. Like
The plane is the
He's
the
like,
character.
we
fact that
can't-
They have no
they
fuel,
to land
so
or
it's
whatever.
like-
So they're just like,
No,
he was
I
trying to
like
get to the
my take
airport.
of it. Like when people write the stupid fucking movies and they're like, New York's the other character. It's like the plane's the character.
Yeah.
The plane is deciding
kinda
actually a
is.
lot of this plot. Got
yeah.
it.
I mean,
Got it.
it's the plane's choice to land in.
It is the plane's
Vegas, like,
choice.
This was never part of the plan. It's out of their hands.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to get to the airport.
Yeah.
Any airport. Obviously, they're going to McLaren or whatever. Like, what's the name of the?
McLaren.
You're right. Because that's on the other
McCarran.
side of the strip. So
McCarran.
they are like the one thing that geographically makes sense from this is they are at least pointed towards
the airport.
once
Right.
they crash.
And they
on
follow
fire.
that trajectory for 8 miles.
Right. And they're not even that far. Like
It's-
it's not that far from the strip
Kinda-
in that direction.
Yeah, it's kind of close. It's real close.
You can see it.
Who's on the plane at this point?
Some of the convicts, the ones who didn't die at Lerner Field.
You forgot about their little dance sequence to that song,
Right, to Sweet Home Alabama.
to Sweet Home Alabama.
Also,
What?
left out,
Ironically.
How-
left out kind of an important plot point with all of
I
this.
feel like there was a number.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a
I
couple
know.
things we left out, but
A big one is that the only people who know that Nic Cage is free is Nic Cage and Bubba Gump.
And he doesn't want the crime boys to know
Right.
because
that he's been released.
So
because
at
he
the-
becomes the enemy.
and then at the end,
But all the guards know.
no, the guards don't know.
Why don't the fucking guards know?
Just the
That's
one.
insane.
Just
the one girl,
The one that
because
the
he
one lady
overshares
knows.
on the.
I mean,
on
it
the-
shows
does,
her picture.
but at this point, there's also
Classic
only
him.
one guard left.
Yes.
Okay,
Like,
sure.
she's the only one left.
But if you're transporting prisoners, you should know these guys are going to fucking
But it also
max
doesn't matter
security,
because
and this guy's-
once they're taken over
yeah.
and all of those guards are moved off the plane.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But like, you should know.
Sure.
Come on.
But John
They know
Cu-
their
or
birthdays or whatever.
John Malkovich finds out and is like, "Oh, okay, so now that you fucked this whole operation,
Oh, you
I'm
fuck.
going to kill your wife and child." So
Yeah.
that becomes his motivation when he's on the ground.
That
So like,
fills in
Yeah.
a lot of this. Like, why would you stay on this fucking ride?
right,
Because you've got to make sure to kill John Cusack.
right.
John Malkovich.
John
John
Malkovich.
Malkovich.
Yep.
Kill the Johns.
Kill the Johns.
I don't know where this line comes from, but I did write it down.
Throw it
Crack the knuckles and hit the crystals.
Oh, I don't remember that
Crank
one
that soldier boy.
Yeah, and crank that soldier boy.
Let me check the lines.
Crank-
that I wrote
And
down.
we forgot.
Hit it again.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Why couldn't she just put the bunny back in the box?
And then he kills him, and he's like, "Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?"
Who's the bunny?
And it's not.
It's a little stuffed toy that he got for his daughter to give to her on her birthday because he's being released on her
Isn't
birthday.
that a plot point of a Tom Cruise movie or something? Who's that other guy? Mel Gibson. Isn't there a Mel Gibson Die Hard Fire
Yeah.
Fast something?
Oh yeah, exactly that one. Yeah, Die Hard Fast Ferris.
Just thinking. Or like Keanu Reeves where he's like, he's just a fucking bunny and then
I think you're thinking of Con Air.
I mean,
It's
bro.
on air. I think you are.
And now that you said it, I think you're fucking right.
I think you're
Because
just.
the same thing with written. Oh, what happened to Dave Chappelle's secret note?
That's so okay. So when his corpse lands, a local cop finds
Every
him.
car in a 4-mile radius hits
Exactly.
the same.
A local cop sees the name.
We're
and
gonna
calls-
crash anyway.
What did they write? Come get me.
Wrote his name.
I'm from the
and
sky.
that plane has been taken
It's
over.
like
somehow.
Larkin,
Yeah.
or whatever. U.S. Marshal.
Yeah,
Larkin.
U.S. Marshal Larkin.
The plane's been taken over.
Yeah, something like that.
That's kind of a long message to
To just Sharpie.
Oh, and
onto...
he Sharpies. Well, there's like 4 lines of
text.
Meanwhile, he's trying to do this while Ving Rhames is standing over him, like with a gun pointed at him, rifling through people's personal effects.
And he's like, let me just.
Just give me a second.
Hey,
Have you
everyone.
ever tried to draw on a T-shirt?
It
It's
sucks.
not that easy.
Yeah.
It's not
Have
easy to
I?
do.
It's like when you see someone spray painting, you're like, "What? Spray paint has never done that for me."
It was probably the shirt was probably pulled tight from
Real
where
tight.
it was jammed in the
Yeah.
real well.
Yeah.
The tire was holding the shirt tight enough.
Yeah.
Real taut
Yeah.
across his body.
The landing
Yeah.
gear held it in place so he could draw on
His
it.
canvas, yeah.
So to wrap it, John Malkovich dies.
You said John Cusack.
I did. I was
Yeah.
wrong. John Malkovich dies
From cancer.
from
Head
the smashing.
Head smash.
Smashing, yes.
He does not live through that one.
And then Nic Cage is reunited with his family, and like I think the last thing we see before the final Nic Cage shot is Steve Buscemi playing craps as a free man.
Oh, just loose?
Yeah, he
just
was
loose
He got
in Vegas
loose.
playing craps.
But he's fine now. He met that girl and realized
Yeah.
killing's wrong.
Yeah.
I like tea parties.
Right, so he's out. He's good.
Turns out,
That Tea Party changed. him.
isn't there a through theory of Steve Buscemi's character is the same character and goes on to do another movie, and it's that same character?
Oh, you might.
Isn't there-
That might be my sequel.
Okay. Okay.
We might be talking about that in a minute.
Okay. We're not gonna. All right.
Whoa.
But
Did I
because
miss
it's
anything?
No, I don't think so.
whoa.
No, there's one other line. I don't know how to squeeze it in. There's a part where Cyrus the Virus is like, "Nothing makes me sadder than an agent lost his bladder in the airplane."
Yeah.
I looked it up because I was like, "Is that a real song?" It is.
Yeah,
he just changed the lyrics like I do when I'm talking to my dogs.
Yeah.
It's a Dean Martin song called "Carolina in the Morning."
Uh-huh.
They played it for us.
Nothing finer than
Yeah.
sweet Carolina in
Yeah.
the morning.
At what point do they Leonard Skinnered it?
After they
Towards
leave
the end of the second
Lerner.
act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before they get to Vegas.
Before Vegas.
Yeah,
After
they're dancing on the way to Vegas.
Right, they think they're free.
Carson. Yeah. And they do
Dancing
a sweet...
around to Sweet Home Alabama. It's how I learned the definition of irony. Somehow I,
Right on
made
that.
I bullshitted my way through high school never knowing
Yeah.
for sure what it meant, but
I also
Con
want
Air
to say,
explains it to me.
Something.
No spoilers. This is
some-
one thing I'm not going to spoil. If you want to learn the definition of irony, watch Con Air.
I thought it was going to be how Leonard Skinner died.
yeah,
I don't want to spoil it.
I definitely don't want to spoil that.
I do want to say, a lot of leg room on that flight.
So much.
It's like maybe that's what I should fly.
It looks so comfortable on that plane.
It does look great.
There's
Even
a
the
US
cages, they put
like-
the real dangerous ones.
I know,
It
it's
seem
like,
pretty cool.
dang.
There's a
I'd do
US
that.
Marshal.
No one's talking to you.
It's a flight full of criminals. It's not that different than Southwest. Like, it's just,
Yeah, right.
you get
There's no
fucking,
assigned seats,
you get super mouthy, you spit, you're getting taped.
right? There's definitely a couple guns on board.
Absolutely.
Yep,
There's guns
yep,
on
yep.
board.
You're not
There's a couple you
100%
didn't find.
comfortable with everyone who has one.
Yeah,
And if you just
absolutely.
wait for the people in charge to turn around, you can sneak your way down in the cargo hold.
Oh yeah, you do
Yeah.
whatever.
You can go wherever you
Which
want.
also,
Like,
no bag fees. What the fuck?
No bag fees.
Oh, I know. These guys are just.
They have personal effects. This is
he
crazy.
had a carry on. He had a bunny.
He had a carry on.
They got
He
a
had no
nice-
money.
He sure
All the
did.
personal stuff is down there. That's what Ving Rhames was doing while they were trying. Well, Nic Cage was trying to get Chappelle out. Ving Rhames was just going through everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
That's maybe the most unbelievable part of this movie is that they were like, no, let the prisoners keep their personal FX. Like, that's insane. Does the daughter get the bunny?
Yes, she does.
That's so gross. That's such a dog shit present. That's a horrible. Hey,
Oh, it's
this
worse than you think. 'Cause it's also fucked
my
up.
guy.
it's bleeding.
It has been basically blown up.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
it finds its way into a fucking gutter.
Mm.
And Nic Cage reaches in and fishes it out of the gutter.
Right before it goes in.
Right before
In Vegas.
Right before
In
In
Pennywise.
Vegas ground.
People live down there. That storm drains. Storm drains.
People, yeah, they were trying
Right,
to
there's
snatch
another-
it like
there's
an
a-
it.
Another
The
shot.
director's cut has a shot from inside, and you see Pennywise try to grab
Exactly.
grab the bunny, and he gets it right before.
That's not
Yeah.
like a testament to like good fatherhood. That's like, brother, drop another $12
Just-
and get a
it's
different
fine.
bunny.
You're in Vegas.
Well, he doesn't have any money.
There are
This was the
options.
thing he bought at like the commissary. or
Yeah.
something. It's a it's not a
Classically,
good
they
gift,
have
all
but
he
it
had.
is-
bunnies for sale
It
at
is
the commissary.
best gift he could get
Yes.
because he's been in prison for 7 years. And if we want to talk, the bunny ain't the only piece of evidence for bad fatherhood we got going on here.
Sure. It's more
Very
believable
true.
that bunny be made out of like ramen noodles than it would be for sale at the
Yes.
commissary.
Yeah.
Just
carving.
tied up pillowcases,
Exactly.
like shredded.
Exactly.
Right, the last thing he does, right
like-
before he pushed Chappelle out the wheel,
Yeah.
he grabs the thing and draws eyes.
It's on it. It's full of dandelion
Smiley
fluff
face.
from the yard.
This is all that was missing. The last detail for
Why
my
couldn't
daughter's
you
friend.
put eyes on the bunny?
A winking one, a cheeky winky one. That's more believable than, we do have a stuffed animal for sale at the commissary.
Right,
That
it
one's
should
not
just
for
be-
kids. That one's
it should
for
be a loose bag of like
our words.
toothpaste,
Exactly. Just,
toothbrushes.
it's heavy as hell.
Yeah.
It's mostly liquid.
That's all I got. Some mints.
Yeah. And it smells minty.
I didn't know what you smoked, so I got both.
Parliaments and Marbreds.
Yeah.
Right, menthols, not
Menthols.
menthols. I didn't know what you were into. I don't know what 7-year-olds do now. Things were different in '89 when I went in.
Can for 8 years.
But that's the Con Air recap.
How do you think the pitch went for Nic Cage?
At this,
Do you think they pitched to him? Do you think Nic Cage pitched to let me in this movie?
they pitched to him?
They pitched to
'cause
him for sure.
Stallone and Kurt Russell both turned it down.
Yo, Kurt Russell would have been incredible.
Yeah.
Right, we'll get to it when we get to the questions, but
Okay, sorry.
no, I mean that's just you don't have to say sorry.
I'm not.
It's-
It was a lie.
But right, so this is Con Air. After all of this, do you think you would watch it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
No,
all right,
well,
we
fucking-
succeeded.
I feel like this was a rewatching, and there's more in this movie that I thought were like bigger tropes.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
They're in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
Right.
didn't.
You just keeping them secret?
I
Withholding?
describing every single scene is great.
Take it from
Just
the top.
some stuff blows up, some other people die in between what we said.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
And
kind of like
this comes from an era of movies where some of the tropes it was using, and some of the tropes it was creating.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like a little fuzzy on like the
Right,
details.
so that's
like
the fun part of watching it now is seeing what
stuff.
has
oh, that's
copied
from there.
them,
Yeah.
Mhm.
from this.
Ask
right?
away though.
The car being towed behind the airplane
Uh huh.
and the stuffed animal. What was the other one that I said that I was like, is that from that?
Oh. Dave Chappelle's body.
The note on the
note on the body.
I've been racking my brain since he said that, and I can't think
Yeah.
of anything else that. I think it's from. I
Is
think
it
I think
from
you're
that?
thinking of Con Air. I think several of the
Yeah.
things you've mentioned are.
you just
It
misremember.
just
They're
been
deep.
so long since
Yeah.
you've seen it.
And I don't have a
yeah.
working memory. It's just it's way too much.
We're gonna come back with the questions and the Raz. We'll be right back. Here we are we got the questions. Bjorn's got the questions. This is our second to last segment of the pod.
Yeah. All right. What was y'all's favorite part?
Did I write down favorite part?
Mine is the fight scene by the private plane. I'm gonna save the fucking day.
Sure.
Like the first time Cusack and Nic Cage meet.
And brawl.
They don't fight.
They don't
They
fight.
fight the cartel guys.
Oh, they team up and brawl.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Where the guy from The Lost World dies.
Why is it your favorite part?
I just like the line, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to save the fucking day. It's clunky and it's obviously meant to be super cool, but
Yes.
it's a little wordy for
And then
the moment is.
that's when he says the trust line, but he says it again later at
Says,
the
now
end.
there's 3 people I
Now
trust.
there's 3 people I trust.
Right.
Oh boy.
Right. And then Cusack goes, I hope one of them's me. It's like, well, of course it is. Why would he say that?
He's like, glad you asked. It's not.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, there's not 3 people I trust. He's like, is it one of them me? He's like, nah, I just saw some highlights and it turns out that you can really count on that Mark McGuire guy.
That murderer really turned out to be a trustworthy guy.
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti
Paul Giamatti.
he seems chill.
Right? I just saw Hard 8, so I think Philip Baker Hall's a pretty decent person. You're like, that's yours. You haven't even met him. He's an actor.
It was right here.
You were the second guy. I was lying earlier. You're the second guy.
guy.
It's me, the bunny, and
The bunny.
he was an
Paul
Army
Giamatti.
Ranger. There's got everybody in his group he
Oh,
would
yeah.
trust.
Yeah.
That's very true.
But this was like
Inconsistent.
right. They wrote lines for this guy. Like
Absolutely.
there was quotes put into the script.
There.
It happened a lot after, like it feels like Tombstone, because just everything. But it had more to do with Val Kilmer
Mhm.
than like Val Kilmer turned every one of Doc Holliday's lines into a quote,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so then there was like ham-fisted quotes put into like that.
Shoehorned
What do you
in.
think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna save the fucking day. Is like just that's too many words for. Because you could just be
fucking-
like,
I'm
I'm gonna save the fucking day is
Yeah.
a much better response. The whole first
Then
sentence is,
reframing
yeah.
the question and
Yeah.
then hitting it again like an interview.
Right.
Thank you for asking.
Right?
That's a great
I'm going to save the fucking
question.
day.
It does. It gives the impression that he hadn't yet decided,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so he's delaying a little bit.
Well, you're goddamn right.
I'm so glad you said something. I'm going to save the fucking day.
Right. I have options. There's a number of things I could do. I could leave,
Yeah.
but you know what? I'm gonna save the fucking
I'm
I'm gonna
day.
gonna
save the fucking day.
I'm gonna stick around with you guys. Oh, and save the day. Save the goddamn day.
Oh,
save
yeah.
the fucking day.
Yeah, save the fucking day.
They're like, keep it all.
I'm gonna save this shit ass day.
We'll
Yeah.
edit it. We'll edit it. It's fine. Fix it in post.
So wait, Randy, did you say your favorite part of Con Air?
I think mine is Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite part of Con Air is when that little girl shows up and waves. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God. What a relief.
That is the biggest relief moment. And I remember that from the first time I saw it. I was like, oh, thank God.
I can't decide. No one asked, but I can decide. If it's all their fun little nicknames. I do like everyone, like the
Yeah,
squad.
Cyrus
Oh,
the Virus,
sure.
Squad.
Cue
Yeah,
Ball,
Nicknames.
Yeah, the intro.
Diamond Dog,
Pinball.
Pinball,
Chappelle's name is Pinball.
Uh-huh.
Diamond Dog, Cyrus the Virus, Billy Bedlam,
Swamp
the
Thing.
Swamp Thing.
right?
These are like playable characters in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been a good video game tie-in. It's
That
just
should
a
have been-
reskin
oh my
of
God.
Street Fighter, but it's
incredible.
Con Air. It's like Shaq Fu.
Oh my God, this is I'm mad about something that should have happened 30 years ago and
We were
didn't.
robbed.
Yeah, we were robbed. Of
There
the
should
video.
have been just a fight, a
Fighting
fighting game,
Fights though.
right?
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
you
just
just
Con Air
right,
characters.
Yeah, finishing
Yeah.
moves, Sayonara. Like
Oh,
there's so many
yeah,
good
he flicks a
finishing
cigarette
moves.
on you.
right. If you pull the joystick down but keep hitting B, that makes Dave Chappelle barf up the
Regurgitate.
Yeah.
barf up the balloon.
Just different weapons.
You got to do it fast though, because the other guy's coming at him.
Yes.
How do you get a machete and a condom?
Oh, now we're gonna be factual.
Now
First of all, Magnum.
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 Second, very dull machete.
Yeah.
Throat
Right.
control.
It's a collapsible machete.
History of sword swallowing.
Telescoping machete.
Yeah. It whips out. Like a tent pole.
Right, he
were
pulls a
robbed.
cop baton out from behind his back. We don't know for sure where he had that stashed.
Part
but
of the seat somehow.
Yeah.
That's where they've implanted all the weapons as part of their chairs and
Yeah.
seats on the airplane.
Oh yeah, there's no in-flight like opening like in the case of an emergency.
No, they don't give a
We'll
fuck.
unlock your shackles.
That's where the departure of reality
your
starts.
shackles can be used as a flotation device.
By the way, just so you know, it's not an unreasonable amount, but John Malkovich's character really likes to shoehorn Con Air into what he's saying a lot.
Do you think it was scripted or
Like,
just they're
welcome
like,
to
no,
Con Air.
Welcome to Con Air.
You're on
It said
Con
a few-
Air.
he's
Look
like,
at
thank
us.
you for flying Con Air.
we're on it right now. It's
Yeah.
Con Air, the plane
yeah,
Con
that
Air.
was for sure. That was for sure on the page. There's no way
Yeah.
that Malkovich
It's
would
just free, yeah,
improv something
free-handed that.
fucking
Yes.
Free hand,
stupid.
free mouth hand, free mouth.
Yeah, he free mouth.
I'm just now putting together. I don't want to say it out loud. I've already started the sentence.
Yep, you have to.
You gotta start a sentence.
That's how
You
I
can't
roll.
stop.
That Con Air is not short for like Continental Airways.
Yeah.
Like it's short for Convict
Yeah.
Airlines.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Are you just putting that together now?
Yes.
Okay.
And I thought it was like, a happy accident. That it was like,
It's not the
'Cause they're
sequel to
gone.
Hairspray.
Get wrecked.
Fuck you.
Did you know Twin Peaks is about mountains? I don't know what anything means anymore.
There was a Twin Peaks restaurant in Omaha, and I would drive by it, and that was the only place I ever seen it at the time, and I had no idea what it was, and because it has like mountains on the sign, like I
Yeah.
honestly just thought it was like
We wish there was
Just
mountains
some-
here.
just some like low end steakhouse thing.
Yeah. Like Black Bear Diner, but
Yeah.
oh,
And then
very good.
the first time I went there, probably the only time I've been to one was I was opening for Pauly Shore, and he was like, "Let's go to Twin Peaks," and I was like, Sure, I've been dying to see what this is all about." And then we walk in, and it's Hooters basically. Like the Twin Peaks are boobs, and I had no idea.
That's
He totally
crazy.
knew. He was also wearing a shirt, like one of his merch shirts, and we sat by the host stand he
That's
sat facing the
wild.
door so that everyone would see Pauly Shore.
What is that like?
Is there
To need that much attention.
is their slogan come twice? Where you can always come twice.
Right, or not at all.
It's tits, not buttes.
Mesa horny,
Love
right? Isn't
Yeah.
that a mountain? Mesa's a mountain phrase.
Yeah. It's a flatter version of
Up until you revealed that it was Hooters, I did think it was going to be a Twin Peaks themed diner. That,
same.
like, there was just like a fandom that's out there. Good
In
for
that-
them. No.
See, I didn't even think that because
that's
I
such
never
a
saw the
Portland
show.
thought. I love it.
Right, that could exist here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think in Omaha, if you ask people if they've seen Twin Peaks, even the people who have would say no.
Yeah.
They
What you
don't-
know about
they're
diner titties, though?
Too worried. Oh, yeah.
I like to think that the menu was themed though. That would be so. It's like, wait, it's a Hooters meets Twin Peaks.
It's just cherry pie and coffee.
Yeah.
It's never quite what you order. The coffee comes in a bowl.
Yeah.
This is weird.
That's a
You're
little
Yeah, it's Twin
disappointing.
Peaks.
Yeah. What do you
Right?
expect?
Your server keeps changing, but not.
Instead of Arnold.
Same name tag, same name. It knows everything the last one did, but looks just enough different that you're like, I don't. It's just off. It's off-putting. It's an unsettling place to eat.
Uncanny.
They've got
Right, the guy across the table from you is wearing a shirt with his own face on it. The whole thing is very, very odd.
Uncanny Valley is the other restaurant, and it's just butt cracks. They're all just showing a little bit.
Yeah.
Plumber cracks.
plumbers. I love that.
Uncanny Valley.
All the servers have that kind of makeup that makes light not reflect off your face, so
Yeah.
it looks slightly
They
not
look
human.
matte.
Like, this doesn't,
Yeah.
this ain't working.
Matt
They'll have
Finner.
a matte face.
It's a little too small. Yeah.
Right?
Cute.
He was like, "Oh, were you in that Aeon Flux movie? Were you in that Beowulf I couldn't sit through the trailer of?"
If you order iced tea, they call it the Laura Palmer.
I have a little
They
moment.
have to. That's the law.
have
They
to.
have to.
Who's this Arnold?
That's the one thing I know about Twin Peaks. I got the joke. Hooray!
All right. Do we have double feature for Con Air?
Yes.
What's your double feature?
It was, and this goes. Hold on. Jeff, you go.
All
Yeah,
right,
do you have
U.S. Marshals.
Oh,
Because that's another movie that starts with a plane full of convicts
right.
and it crashes, and Wesley Snipes gets free, and then Tommy Lee Jones has to hunt him down.
Oh, that's fun.
Do you have a double
watch out.
feature for Con Air?
Air Force One. It's still a plane of
Oh, yeah.
convicts. They
It's
just
a
haven't
plane
gone-
of criminals.
Oh, criminals.
Criminals, not convicts.
Not convicts.
They've not been
Pre-
convicted yet.
Pre-convicts.
Pre-con.
Right.
Yeah. That is the
Eventual
prequel.
convicts.
They're just cons. Just con artists.
Right? You don't know who to root for in that movie. You just want Michigan to win that football game as well.
I want them all to die in a fiery crash.
Do you have a double feature
Yes.
for Con Air?
Billy Madison.
Okay,
yeah.
what's the time? Oh, because
The
okay, yeah,
Steve
yeah.
Buscemi plays a psychopath in both.
That was the tie-in.
Yeah.
I knew there was something. I knew.
See, that's the one where he rolls up with the skateboard, and he's
No,
like, "Hey,
no.
kids."
That's in 30 Rock.
Oh, that's 30
30
Rock.
It's a guest appearance. In
This is
30
the one
Why
where
did I
Billy
miss
Madison
it?
calls the people he
Good
bullied,
pull. Yeah.
and he apologized, and he goes, "Oh,
Hello.
thank you," and then he
Fellow kid.
turns around and cross the people
Oh, that's
ID
right.
kill list.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Crosses it off with the pen and then puts lipstick on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Then he got from that little girl at the tea party.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
all
Yeah.
coming together.
full circle,
Full
For-
circle. Full circle.
full circle, full circus. Okay, my double feature was Broken Arrow.
Right? Another plane.
Another plane,
Oh.
John Travolta, and
Slater.
Slater.
Is Broken Arrow the name of the plane?
Broken Arrow is what happens when you lose a nuke,
Dang it.
according to the movie Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
According to
So no, it's a closed
the
loop.
lore. Gotcha.
right?
It is a closed loop.
It's like when
Alright.
people try to explain the Bible.
It actually is called a broken arrow.
I believe you,
Yeah.
but I've also
believe you.
I've seen the movie,
All right,
so I was always going to believe that was true.
movie
If we
said
know
it.
anything about losing nukes and irony, it's that Jeff is going to learn them from movies.
Is it in
Yeah.
North Dakota?
It's like your medical degree that you have from all the shows.
Yeah.
North Carolina, I think.
I don't know that. Broken Arrow.
Do you guys have an Oscar for anybody? Who would get the Oscar?
John Malkovich.
John
In a
Malkovich.
heartbeat.
That's, I mean,
Yeah.
John Malkovich for how
from
many times?
from what we've said.
John Malkovich for how many times I thought it was John Cusack in the plot.
I like that.
I'm going to say John Cusack, but because the reason why he gets the Oscar is we can't tell watching the movie how much he hated making that movie.
Sure.
And so he did a good enough job acting that it doesn't seem like he's in a movie he hates.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
That's a remarkable talent.
right. That's
remarkable
pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's good acting. All right. Sequel ideas
Yes.
for Con Air. I almost said Broken Arrow.
So mine is actually a prequel.
Okay, prequel.
It is. It picks up from the moment that Steve Buscemi fires a sniper rifle at Bradley Whitford and Billy Madison. He gets a taste for blood and then goes on a rampage, killing 37 people
Right.
along the East Coast,
Wearing
and then
them, like
ends
hats
up
and stuff.
in the Supermax prison in Carson City, where he is eventually this character.
Hijinks.
Right?
Yeah.
It's Natural Born Killers, but hilarious.
Yeah.
It's
got some
Natural
real
Born
teeth.
Killers. And you put a LOL in the middle of Killers.
LOL.
I hate it.
Anyway, I wish I would have saved that for the end.
Love it. Do you have a
Closer.
sequel idea?
I think Nicolas Cage gets home. He's got his family life going again. Somebody gets loose because he lives in Alabama, so he lives near this prison. That's why he's on the same flight to the prison. Somebody gets loose. Cusack's Marshall character has to find it. The guys have they're it's basically Cyrus and all those guys. They fuck it. Like Cyrus is dead, but a group of very bad dudes get loose, kill Cusack's team. The only person he could turn to is Cameron Poe, and then they have to.
Because he's the only other person he trusts.
Right? Is it?
Yeah.
I only trust
Him
one
himself.
person.
He only trusts
Jesus
him.
Christ.
Right?
Lord.
Used to be two, but one of them was
Fake.
right. One of them was him, and the other was his sister.
I want to
Joan.
see the sequel where the 4 people that crash into Dave Chappelle's body It becomes a meet cute.
Yeah, it's a rom-com.
It's a rom-com spinoff. Those cars. It just takes a real departure.
What would it be called?
That guy.
Crash into
Sky.
me.
Love from the
Crash.
Sky.
It'd just be called Crash.
Crash.
We get a third crash.
The
Yes.
four-way.
This one would be the second.
Four-way nonstop.
Oh yeah, it would be the second.
Unstoppable.
Then the one that sucks, the one best picture, would have to be called something else.
It would be Traffic 2.
Traffic 2.
Gridlock.
Yeah. Cars.
Cars.
My sequel idea is kind of close to yours. Poe's wife gets pregnant again, so he starts a fight to get himself locked up so he misses the beginning of that child's life.
Because he knows he's a dog shit
He hates
dad.
diapers. He just can't handle it.
He knows he's a dog shit dad.
I'll be back in like 7 to 8 years to 10 years.
Right. I'll come back once they sleep through the night.
Yeah, she can
and
talk.
they start, right.
I don't like
He
babies.
meets his oldest daughter in a bar. She's working there. He
Yeah.
starts all over
Yep.
again.
Big old loop.
Big old loop.
Like, oh, Cyrus is back. He survived that.
He just
Cyrus
has
is back with an artificial head.
Cyrus
right.
has a
he has
son.
a flat face like Flat, he's like Flat Stanley from the neck up. Just a 2D wobbly. The wind blows in his hat.
He lives.
Falls back.
He's just Jim Carrey from The Mask after he pulls
Yeah.
himself up from
Yep.
the road.
I did think about that as a sequel of like just the workers coming on site to do their like rock smash job and they just find the flat
body.
body and they become crime scene investigators.
And that starts CSI.
Exactly. Vegas.
Vegas. Obviously.
Right? It's
Yeah.
The
we're
series.
it was
just
probably
That's
in
where the-
production.
That's where the money is.
Yeah.
Turn it into a show.
TV show with none of the actors. Maybe a cameo of John Cusack's voice in the.
Yeah, just
yeah.
one voice. And then like just practical effects.
Because the cast was so stacked, did either of you do touchstones?
Touchstones? No, I
Okay.
didn't do any touchstones. We kind of covered him as like bubblegum. Julia Roberts.
Sure.
What's Touchstone?
Like-
where you know the actors from?
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
when you see Nicolas
Being John
Cage, is there a
Malkovich.
movie that pops into your head
And Nicolas Cage.
that guy's from that? Like the first thing you really locked in on? It's hard with Nic Cage, but
yeah,
like,
Nic Cage is a hard one.
but like what about
John-
Malkovich?
Family
Malkovich to
Man.
me is from Rounders. That was the first like
oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's a good
I mean I
pull.
definitely saw Con Air came out first. So it's probably Con Air actually.
Yeah, a lot of these are from
Ving
Con-
Rhames is from Pulp Fiction.
What did Danny Trejo do before this? Because that's not where I know Danny Trejo from.
Heat.
I mean,
he was in
did-
Heat.
He was in Heat. He was in El Mariachi.
Yeah, El Mariachi. Was he
Ah.
in Desperado too?
Yeah,
I
he's
think
in Desperado. He's in all three.
Yeah.
It's
He was
Desperado.
found
Is he in the
by
last one?
Robert
Yeah.
Rodriguez.
Antonio Banderas and
I think
Danny
yes.
Trejo.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he
yeah.
like discovered
Desperado.
him and like cast him
Uh-huh.
originally.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we did it. We did do it.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a recast for
Did I do a
for Con Air? Do you have one?
Every actor's name,
No,
John.
I didn't recast. I spent all my
Oops, all
time on.
Pauls. I already
Oops,
did
all
it.
Pauls. I love it.
Oops, all
Paul
Pauls.
Reiser.
I honestly don't think you can recast this movie.
Well, I tried.
Okay.
I recast Con Air as a musical.
Beautiful. Hit it.
Keep Nick Cage. Nick Cage
is in.
stays.
Yeah, too.
And then I have I didn't really give everyone roles specifically. I just kind of threw some people in there. Hugh Jackman, I want to see him in there. John Travolta in the Cusack role because he can
A
sing.
little face-off reunion.
Yeah, little face off. Anthony Kiedis, let's just throw him in there, and Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers as well. And then
That's crazy.
Swamp Thing.
Doug, that's crazy. We're just going to glance over that. That's crazy.
It's actually more surprising that Flea isn't in it.
Yeah, it seems like he should be in
At
this.
that period of
At
time.
that period, you're right.
He was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
As like
Especially
a
at the
weird.
beginning when you put them all on the plane and there's 25 guys his
Yeah, 'cause
age,
age
basically.
and-
He just
Yeah.
did. He had done Back to the Future
General
3
demeanor.
like just a few years prior to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Suicide Squad? You know the little weasel guy?
Mhm.
No.
That's Flea.
Oh.
Yes. It's a good animated series.
And then Swamp Thing, Rob Zombie, for some
Oh.
reason. And Tupac for the Chappelle role. I don't know. I was just having fun, just
Tupac?
playing jazz, and then let's actually get
I'm
Julia
sorry.
Roberts in there to play that
As the
role.
guard.
No, as the wife.
Oh, okay.
Not as the
I have a different take on it, on this recast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the rare.
Oops, all white people.
No, it's.
Ving Rhames.
Oh, you got Ving Rhames. That's right.
and Dave Chappelle.
This is the
I'm talking about your
least.
cast.
Oh, my cast. I don't know. I was just throwing something together.
This is the least Nic Cage movie of the
Yes.
Nic Cage movies. So this is the one
Yeah.
movie where it doesn't need to like
It doesn't
having
need
it
to
be
be
Nic Cage doesn't help or hurt the movie.
Sure.
So like, I kind of think if you were going to recast it, the easiest one to recast is the Nic Cage role.
Oh yeah,
I
you can
agree.
put anybody there.
Wholeheartedly agree.
It's because right, Kurt Russell, we could picture Kurt Russell doing it. You could
Immediately,
picture,
Kurt Russell's in my head for this. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
many, almost anybody that's mid 30s or so in 1996 could do this.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't need Nic Cage doesn't do any of the Nic Cage stuff.
You could put Nic Cage in the Cyrus role
I'd love
because he would chew all over that.
Yeah, he'd be great at that.
100%.
Like he could do his Nic Cage stuff.
Yeah.
And he did Nic Cage stuff in The Rock. You recast Nic Cage in The Rock, that movie is
Very different.
Yeah.
very different. You Face Off we're doing next week. That has to be those
has
two.
to be
The
two of
other
those two.
options that were presented that will be fun to talk about next week.
Mm-hmm. Don't.
It doesn't work because the movie is fun because Nic Cage does his wild Nic Cage shit.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
John Travolta
Travolta
gets to do the Nic Cage stuff in the middle
That's fun.
and pretend that he's doing Nic Cage stuff without ever like I don't think Travolta ever really took inside
Internalized,
himself
yeah.
and realized that he does that stuff too. Like they both have the
A
same
shtick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mannerisms.
energy, like where
Yeah.
they could just be the crazy guy or whatever. So almost anybody could be Nic Cage. The rest
Yeah.
of the stuff, the rest of the actors, Swamp Thing, the movie suffers of it. Like it's small, but like his look
Who
in
would be
general.
the perfect, though? Who would be your dream cast replacing Nic Cage?
Oh, I'm not even. I don't know. It's because it doesn't
Keanu.
matter.
Keanu.
There's nothing to that role where, like, if he wasn't going to do his
Like
Nic
Ed
Cage
Harris
stuff,
could do it.
I mean, Cusack could do it.
Yeah.
That could very easily.
Like he
do it.
could have been that guy. Like
It's just
I don't
someone
believe
someone who needs like a southern accent.
Yeah.
That's all it requires.
not even. It doesn't even really
Doesn't
require that,
I mean, he's just from Mobile, so
right? But they never actually go to Mobile.
Mhm.
All the stuff that makes him southern is just words they say, and they could just say different words.
Mm.
He could be. It could be
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, and they'd be
Yeah.
like, "We're flying to Boston."
That's very funny.
Yeah.
I think that was the opportunity miss, is that it wasn't Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. A
Marky
19-year-old Mark
too,
Wahlberg.
yeah.
Right? That's the one thing I noticed about this movie this time through is like, because I watched this movie before there really was like a Nic Cage thing. Like he hadn't implemented
Really stepped
the
into
thing.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? The Rock was a little, he was
Taste.
doing some of that stuff, but I didn't know enough about movies or what was happening or enough about Nic Cage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like I had seen the comedies, Amos and Andrew, Raising Arizona,
I was,
Trapped in Paradise.
That's
Some of
my
those are good,
touchdown.
but Trapped in Paradise or
no,
Arizona?
Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those
Where he
Like-
does want to raise the kid.
I was going to bring that up
Yeah.
earlier. I got distracted.
That's the movie that didn't happen because he went to prison.
Fatherhood.
He wrote that while he was in prison.
I think it'd be a fun role for Denzel.
yeah.
Yeah.
A, 1996 Denzel?
Denzel
Yeah,
would have a
great.
blast with that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Right, coming off of Crimson Tide.
Yeah, and then be like, now let's do a silly one.
Yeah.
Silly one. All right. Do we have any better titles for
I think I had two.
Con Air? It's such a good
I have
title.
three.
But let's have fun with it.
My first one is Fight, Fuck, or Hit the Fence.
Is that a quote from the movie?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
My second one is Tasty Barbecue.
Is that a quote from?
There's
Yeah.
there's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my third one is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Arlo, did you have a better title for Con Air?
that you
No,
can think of.
on the spot. Continental Airlines.
Continental Airlines.
Criminal plane.
Did you have one, Joe?
Airbus.
Airbus.
Airbus for crime.
Airbud Penitentiary.
Exactly. Boeing jail. These were all actual possible titles. There's just cutting room floor. I'm just reading from a list that they actually tried.
Thank you for flying Airbus jail.
Airbus jail.
Boeing Penitentiary.
Welcome to Boeing Penitentiary.
Boeing
Oh,
Penitentiary.
save me.
Slayover.
The slayover.
Right. They land 3 times.
Yeah, like that's incredible.
So that they all got these tickets on Kayak.
Who has a connecting flight to Vegas?
This is Allegiant Air. This is the flight path that Allegiant Air takes.
Right? It's a connecting flight from Carson City to Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's
It
Allegiant
connects.
Air specifically. You're the only one that knows how to airline.
Yeah.
It connect. Allegiant is
You
not
know
great,
that-
but it does have a direct from Cincinnati to LA. So
Yeah.
I flew it a lot.
And you know when he says that, like, we cleared the airport, it's like they definitely cleared Terminal 3. That's it. Which
Yeah.
is only, it's only Sun Country and Allegiant.
Yeah.
Terminal 3.
Yeah.
All right. My better titles for Con Air were Fly Angry,
Oh,
Yeah, that's good.
Don't fly angry.
Don't Fly Angry, and then Arriving in Vegas.
Right?
Instead of leaving Las Vegas.
It's a prequel. It's how he got there.
It's how he got there. And he was like, man, that was a rough day.
But it's like arriving, semicolon,
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Las
yeah,
Vegas.
Flight announcement. Yeah, I get it. I hear it. I see it.
Right, the font. It's all from the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all blurry. The whole board is blurry except for that one
Arriving,
flight.
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
Con Air, 1:55 p.m. Estimated landing time 2:10. It's running a little late.
Commercial flights.
It had to make 2 stops somehow from.
Arriving at the strip.
Well, because I thought of that. We were
Delay.
talking about Jason Takes New York.
Manhattan.
Or Manhattan,
Yeah, yeah.
excuse me. Jason Takes
area.
Manhattan. He spends so little time in Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's about as much time as they spend in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's like naming the whole movie after,
Just the place that they
just the place they ended up.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was all
Right,
of
it's
mine.
wild that he makes this. It ends in Vegas. It ends with Steve Buscemi playing craps, and yet Nicolas Cage is in a different movie called Snake Eyes.
Every single movie that he does is breadcrumb trailed from every other movie
They're in the same
Yeah.
universe.
he's ever
Yeah.
done.
Because right around now is probably when it reached a point where people would see this and be like, "Oh, we
Yo.
should make Nic Cage do this. We should make him do that." So it definitely would have
Absolutely.
that.
His breadcrumb trail the whole way.
Right, it starts his 10-year run till Lord of War.
I
And
want
then
to
it
know
falls
what
apart.
the hotel occupancy for Circus Circus did after this movie.
Yeah. Little
I'm into the
flyover.
data points. If it survived, I mean,
Taking
okay.
the minutes for this podcast.
Right, how many people died when they crashed that plane on the ship?
Right. Well, they make a point of that. There's a very small mention where like everything goes down, and John Cusack and the Irish guy are like, so
What Irish guy?
Cole Meany.
Cole Meany,
He's the
thank you.
DEA guy. He was in Star Trek Next Gen.
Curly hair.
Oh, yeah.
It's also in
He's
Sunny.
Scottish.
He's also in one of the 2 shows Randall has seen.
Correct.
He's probably in the other one too,
Simpsons
but if it was post season 9, he wouldn't know.
and Rick and Morty. Those are the only 2 shows you've ever seen.
Sunny.
And Sunny.
Sonny, Simpsons.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 I know about. I didn't know about Rick and Morty.
Fucking,
He's
of
probably
course
not.
he did.
He's probably not a Rick and Morty. I bet that guy's dead. He's not dead.
There's a scene at the end where everything happens, and then Cole says to John Cusack, so you think not shooting the plane down was worth it?
Well, because there's a scene where they're like, we're almost to Vegas. They're like, they had like Blackhawks like cued in on it. And they're
Yeah.
like, we could shoot it down and nobody, just the plane full of convicts would get hurt. And they're like, nah, let's risk it for the.
There was an Air Force base in Vegas. How
Yeah.
did that not?
Yeah.
How did they not get just?
Oh, and they come from that direction. It
Yeah,
actually
that's
would have been
crazy.
faster if they just turned a little bit.
Yeah.
Nellis Air Force Base.
Nellis. That's what I couldn't think of that name.
Nullis.
Now we're just poking holes.
Yeah.
Now we're just poking holes.
So my next question is, how should this movie have ended?
The way it
They
did.
shot it down. They shot it down in the desert.
Taking off from. Just
I mean, how many parachutes do you need to get the people that shouldn't die off the plane? 3?
3.
Yeah.
That's all. You just need 3 parachutes. That's how it should have ended. Them
Yeah.
jumping off the plane and then shooting the plane down.
before anything happens. This is just how we get rid of
I mean, you could even
convicts.
you could even tighten up the budget a little bit with that too.
Yeah,
Not
then you don't have to have the entire strip
yeah,
involved.
you don't have to
Yeah.
close down the strip and that
I mean,
tunnel.
If you
and
don't believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, there's no reason that they shouldn't have just shot this plane down. Just eliminate these fucking people.
So my thought of how this movie should have ended is, when Cyrus's head is getting like crushed,
Yeah.
it jump cuts to him waking up on the plane and deciding not to go through with the plan.
You guys.
I've seen it. We gotta get off now.
It's Final Destination.
It's Final
It's Final
Destination
Destination
con.
7.
Yeah,
Reinvented.
that's how I think
It's
it should
really
end.
good.
That's great.
It's
Oh
really good.
man, in universe.
Yeah. Do you have a description for Con Air that's technically right but not great?
I thought you'd never ask. I have, I think, 6.
Oh wow.
First one is, one prisoner is given enough tools and supplies to perfectly recreate a brick wall.
Yep, that happens.
We didn't mention
When?
that. We didn't
We'll
mention that
explain
part.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Don't worry about
Moving
it.
on. All right.
One of the world's most notorious criminals shields his identity with a nylon hood. A prison guard beats a reel-to-reel out of a convict and thinks, that's probably a personal item. Con Air shows audiences that comedians make the best landing gear jammers. And a wrongfully convicted man teaches harsh lessons about touching his stuffed animal.
Chappelle lands in San Francisco.
Just in Cobb's.
Just so funny. It's like, oh, that's how he
On
bought
top.
the punchline.
That's what happened to the purple onion. You don't know that?
All right. I have one now. There, it is the. It's an explanation for why traffic was so bad last night in Vegas.
we finally
Right? They just.
can point to a
Yeah.
singular event
Yeah.
of
You know
what
what
actually choked up traffic.
That plane.
Crash.
I know everybody's at home going, why was there a plane on the strip?
But-
Well, here's why.
But somehow the firefighters still get blamed.
Yeah.
Because it was fire
Yeah.
truck.
Yeah.
What are you obsessed with putting out every fire? Golly, we got places to be. I think it's the importance of eliminating private jets, the importance
Yeah.
of shared
Well, if it
transportation,
happened-
public transportation.
Yeah.
If it had happened the year before, Tupac might still be alive.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
If he fucked up the strip on the right day,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, right by Paradise.
and-
they went right by there.
even if it was like a month before that fight, the strip still fucked up for a while.
Yeah.
They would have, yeah. That
This happens a year earlier, Tupac's alive.
we could have
Or
saved it.
he
That's
dies somewhere else.
that's what I'd like to submit as my answer for how I wish this movie had ended. Is that it ends the same way, but
Tupac
then it jumps to
Tupac living.
not getting ended.
It's part of the final
Yeah, he goes to
Wait,
get into
wait.
his car and he's
So
like,
John Cusack's
"We
head
can't."
gets crushed, and we smash cut to Tupac waking up, saying, "No, we can't go there
Yeah,
tomorrow."
we're not
Yeah.
going to Vegas. Oh boy.
Right. So the second prequel to the Final Destinations is Death going for Tupac because he was supposed to die, but he fucked up the plane thing, so
And then-
Tupac lived, but he's still
the
got to get him.
roads are all fucked up, so they divert, so
Yeah.
it's not even the same.
There's a big fight in Atlantic City next month, and the promoter is Death. Nobody thinks that seems weird, but Tupac is still into it.
Sin City, baby.
Right? That shimmery
Yeah.
thing from on screen from the Final Destination that goes out and welcomes everybody
Oh,
to the
yeah.
fight. It's just a shimmery.
Hello.
Vibe.
And now,
Ground transportation is ecologically more friendly than air transport. They should have just taken a bus.
yeah.
They say that at the end.
Next time, take a bus.
Next
All
time,
right.
take
I
a
was
bus,
in
take
that
a
writing
bus.
room. You don't know that.
Yeah. Cutting room floor.
Mhm.
Did we watch this movie so that you
Did
don't
we
have
watch
to?
No.
this movie?
Did we watch this movie so you don't have to?
Fucking no, watch this movie.
Watch it.
This movie is insane and amazing.
I'm definitely gonna watch all the best clips on TikTok after this. So I'm not gonna watch all the way through.
Just get the spark
Highlight
notes.
reels. Yep. Highlights.
All right, we're back with the Raz talking Con Air. This is Nicolas Cage month. What do you think of Con Air?
Loved it.
What's your relationship to Con Air? When did you see this one in the theater?
I did not see this one in the theater. I don't think either.
Right,
I
so
may
this is
have.
like-
I don't recall. some of these R-rated movies, I think, were still maybe a little earlier than when I was going to see R-rated movies.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
These movies in particular, with The Rock last week and Con Air and whatever, like this is like, we don't have a massive age gap, but the age gap is right in this window.
100%. Like we're the same generation. It's not a huge age gap, but when you're 11 and 14 or whenever, it's still a little bit, there's that.
I appreciate you saying that. I was 17 when I saw The Rock. It was I said it earlier on the last episode, but it was the last one I got carded for. And my friends.
How old are you now?
I'll tell you off air. I still want to get booked. I'm 39, Raz. I'm just hanging tough at 39. Dave just had his 39th. I have my 39th. Your 39th is coming up.
You got that Korean skincare routine. That gene you got.
It's going great, man. So do you remember the first time you saw Con Air and what you thought of it?
I don't, but I remember enjoying the fuck out of it because I remember the plane crash in Vegas and I remember his hair and I went as Con Air. My friend Kat had a Nicolas Cage themed birthday party maybe 6 months ago, and I dressed as Con Air I dressed as his character from this movie.
Oh, man, that's amazing.
It's just a fun movie. It's a great idea.
I think I could only be.
I mean, other than John Cusack,
I could only be Swamp Thing if I had to pick a character to dress as, or that one guard that was that roly-poly guard. You didn't like John Cusack?
It was Con Air is great. Yeah, I don't like John Cusack or his sister, mostly his sister, and that gives me John Cusack by default. I don't like the Cusack fam.
Oh, amazing! I can't wait to do Cusack movies. I can't wait to to make you watch Grosse Point Blank and find out what you think, because there's a lot of both of them in that one.
There is. I loved it. Look, it's a great idea. Another great idea where it's like, hey, let's put convicts on a bus, convicts on a plane, and they take it over. Great. We got an inside man who's a former cop.
Right. They have gotten away from the simple, like The Rock and Con Air have it's easy to pitch. I can tell you 100%. What it's about fast.
It's like back in the day when Die Hard did well, everybody was like Die Hard in a museum or Die Hard or Night at the Museum. Now we got how many Night at the Museum type movies, and a cul-de-sac and at a Spirit Halloween, whatever,
I think the John Wicks do a good job of doing both things where it's real big once it gets going, but the premise is simple. They kill his dog and then it takes 4 movies for him to kill enough people to get out.
Boom. What's the pitch? Mob steals a car and kills his dog and he seeks revenge.
I don't even think he would have cared if they just stole his car. I don't think he goes after him.
Right, but it's the dog.
It's the dog. They kill his dog, and he kills a lot of people.
That's why they make dog movies.
Yeah,
they don't make cat movies, but they'll make a fucking Mark Wahlberg with the dog movie.
Right. They don't make cat movies. You're right, Marley and Me, but it's a cat would just be like people would just be relieved. You can email us at saturdayafternoonmovieclub@gmail.com about this part. Come on, we just like engagement.
Yeah. I don't like cats. Cats are stupid. At me.
Right. Hit us up. SaturdayAfternoonMovieClub@gmail.com. Tell us what you think of our cat take. All right. So I'm trying to think of a slightly different way to word it so it's not the same question as last week. If I was to ask you to recommend a Nicolas Cage movie, how many do you say before Con Air?
Oh, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, right.
This is up there. This is up there as far as great Nicolas Cage movies.
I think you're right. I saw this movie. We've talked about it a lot already, but I saw this movie probably 7 times in the theater.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't.
I get it. It's a fucking, it rips, dude.
Right. I won't go into why. I'll tell you off air. You could listen to the earlier part of the episode, but I'll just tell you off air why. But it was good enough to do that with. But yeah, I love this movie. I have the poster for it somewhere.
Love it.
Dragging around a Con Air movie poster for 15 years. But all right, you want to?
It's a great name. It sounds like almost like an airline.
Yeah, you kind of know it's enough to know what's happening right away.
100%.
The poster and the title, you got enough of an idea to be like, I'm in. I'm getting this.
I'm in. Absolutely.
right? It makes a promise that it can keep, and it fucking
100%.
keeps that promise. All right, so how you want to sign off Con Air?
I was gonna say I could eat a peach for days, but it's a different Nicolas Cage movie. So be good to yourselves and each other. Be safe this summer. Smile at an old person, and follow me on Instagram at Geoff Tate, the musician Geoff Tate. Follow him instead.
Right, and you can follow me on Instagram, and my name is Razzle. I just would like to say, as I sign off, Raz, how do I live without you? I can't wait to see you next week.
I can't wait to see you soon.
All right, face off next week, buddy. Have fun at this one. We'll talk about it next time.
All right. Is that it? Did we do
I think
it?
that's it. Let's do. You got anything to
Yeah.
plug?
Some shows and
This comes out next week.
Website?
Great.
No, comes out.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
next week.
I don't. I'll have a website at some point. I've had some in the past, and I'll have
Rock
another
us
one in
tomorrow.
the future. I'll be in Hood River next week on Saturday.
Perfect.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
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 Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, see Arlo in Hood River if you live in the Hood River
Yeah.
or whatever that other place is called.
So I'm out and sign up for some classes at Siren Theater where I teach
Yeah.
classes. Okay, thanks for having me, boys.
You're welcome. How about you?
Oh, just my other podcast, Love, Hate, Laughs,
Yep.
on all platforms.
And then check out What's More Metal and Ghost and Hose
Hell yeah.
and Anytime Now and Unlock This and Not That Late Show.
August 1st, Leisure Club, Columbus, Ohio. August 2nd, Norwood at their outdoor festival in Norwood, Ohio. That's Cincinnati. You know what's up. Those are my dates.
Great.
The next episode, I'm hoping to have a July 31st date. So that's a tease. Anyway, thanks for doing this. Face Off is next week, and meeting adjourned.